cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't covering my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 who don't play.
Music licensing reimagined.
Play, who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 who don't. Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying to selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Sun up to sun up from Monday to Sunday. We maxing the limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation. I'm finessing the visit.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers, and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC Winnipeg. We have Mike Malott going against Gilbert Burns. Wheezy, we are in Canada for a 13-fight card, and it's a tricky one. It's one that it's taken me a lot longer than usual to research because I didn't know who the hell some of these guys are. I don't know who Jamie Siraj was. I didn't know who Gokan Siraj is. I don't know who else? There's
Julian Leblanc.
Oh, don't get me started on Julian Leblanc. Like, what are they doing? I get they're Canadian, but just because they're Canadian doesn't mean you gotta bring them into the UFC. I mean, this week is very interesting. There are a couple fights I'm looking forward to, though. Of course, the main event, Mike Malott, Gilbert Burns. The co-main event's going to be Fire, Charles Jordane, Kyler Phillips. I'm looking forward to the debut of Rat Garbage, Mandel Nalo. And then I think the fight I'm kind of looking forward to the most might be Jasmine Jazz the Vicious, Karina Silva. That's going to be fun. Oh, yeah. and Mauricio Barbosa as well. So there's some really good fights, but there's also just some absolute stinkers that kind of pissed me off, quite frankly, Wheezy, researching some of these fights.
You know, like I know whenever I put my stats packages together, there are weeks where everybody's in the database. You know, they're all guys that have fought in the UFC before, and it makes my work a little bit easier when that's the case. And then there are weeks like this where there's a lot of debutantes. You got John Yannis with only one UFC fight. Siraj, you know, a debutant. Vologdin's a debutant. Obviously, Bozer hasn't fought in the UFC in 2 years. Gokan is a debutant. Leblanc is a debutant. Mauricio Barbosa is a debutant. You know, Mandel Nalo is a debutant. So it's when we have cards like this, you know, sometimes that variance will bring some opportunities, you know, some high upside plays that you can, you know, throw a little bit of money at for potentially a big win. But we got to break down these fights because there's some interesting ones here, and I want to see if we're on the same page on a couple of these stylistic matchups.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it as always. Before we get into it, and before we get into the chat, and before we break down what happened over the weekend at UFC 327, we want to give a big big shout out to our sponsors. We got two sponsors of the show. We'll touch on the first one. The first one is going to be Underdog Fantasy. Right now, if you go to Underdog Fantasy and use code DFSBTN, you will get $50 in bonus funds when you play with your first $5 lineup. Go to Underdog Fantasy and use code DFSBTN. Underdog's doing a lot of great things. If you haven't checked out the app in a while, they've got a lot of different options to choose from an MMA perspective. So check out Underdog Fantasy and use that code DFSBTN. The other sponsor of the show is going to be the Big Brain MMA Discord. Big shout out to Big Steve and the Big Brain MMA Discord for sponsoring the show. He has a bunch of sharps in there that are giving away plays each and every week for sports I've never even heard of, all sports pretty much. Promotions that I've never even know existed. I mean, there's sharps for every single promotion, doing a ton of MMA stuff in there. Check it out. The Discord runs 24/7. I believe Big Steve's in Australia, but you guys got they got guys all around the country in the Big Steve Discord. So check it out. Big Brain Discord. Access tons of bets per week. If you're a big fan of MMA, not only UFC, but all these other organizations that not a lot of guys cover. Big Steve covers it in the Discord. So check him out. And I'll also throw the link to that in the chat there. Check out Big Steve. Wheezy, any thoughts on how UFC 327 went? It was a fun card. I think it was a pretty great card. I'd probably say it was one of the best, if not the best cards of the year. We had the best fight, one of the best fights we've ever seen. Josh Hoken, Curtis Blades. Like, we were watching that one live, and I'm surprised we even have voices, this Monday with how that fight played out. But from a betting perspective, it was kind of tricky. We had a lot of fights that were, lined very closely. I think the two biggest favorites on the card lost. Kelvin Gastelum lost, and then Osmat Mirzakhanov ended up closing at like minus 260. He lost. So from a betting perspective, it was kind of tricky. But do you want to recap your UFC 327?
Yeah, I was down just a little over 1 unit, but what really killed me was Esteban Ribovics. I had a 2-unit finish only prop on him at minus 140. I loved that bet. I really did. I felt like obviously Gamrot's going to be live for a submission because he grapples and he wins minutes and he's got excellent wrestling, scrambles. I just didn't see him getting to dominant position where, like Esteban would make a mistake like he did there, getting his arm in front of his face. That's a good way to get arm triangled. And I mean, Mateus jumped on it, got his hips down, perfect form on that. And boy, that was one situation where the ref almost saved my night, because that could have wound up being no contest the way that he jumped in there before Esteban tapped. That would have saved my night, because I would have been up like over 2 units if I just hadn't had any action on the Ribovics fight, because I hit a 3-unit bet on the Charles Radke money line. I hit a 1-unit bet on the Cub Swanson money line. I hit a half-unit bet on Cub Swanson to win by knockout. The losing bets for me were obviously the Ribovics money line, the Ribovics finish only, the Ribovics decision prop, which totaled 3.5 units. And then I had 1 unit on Osmat Mirzakhanov to win by knockout, which obviously wasn't even close to hitting. And then my 2-leg probability parlay was fight doesn't go to decision in the main, which hit, and fight ends by KO for Pitbull versus Pico, where Pico was landing some good shots. I didn't think Pitbull had a chin like that at 38, man. I thought he was going to get him out of there. But if I could have just gotten Ribovics to not get finished, or if I could have just gotten that Pitbull fight to have ended by KO, it would have been a good night. But yeah, down 1.2 units, not my best day. And Brady, we were talking about it on the watch along. I had this phenomenal cash lineup in DraftKings that I had in a bunch of different tournaments, and it was Charles Radke, it was Tatiana Suarez, it was Cub Swanson, Josh Hokett, Mateus Gamrot, and the last fighter was Yuri Prohaska. And I had 555 DraftKings points out of those 5 guys, to where if Prohaska would have gotten a first-round knockout, it would have been like over 650 points, and I would have been well inside the top 1% of all the tournaments I would have been in. I would have won the Ironman that week. It would have been a huge week. So Yuri dropping the ball at the end of the first round and getting caught with that left hook was one of the biggest unit financial swings I've probably ever had as a gambler. So that was the way my night ended. I was down 1.2 units, not feeling horrible about the event at all, but if Yuri would have just closed the show there for me, it could have been like a couple of $1,000 to the upside for me, which would have been really nice.
Yeah, that was absolutely so insane. Probably one of the most insane moments ever. I mean, that Yuri fight. But
remember when we were yelling, "What are you doing?" when he was pointing down at the ground and just kind of like, he looked like he was playing to the crowd, and we were like, "What are you doing? Go get him! He's on one leg." Oh my!
I was thinking he was just trying to cash my KO2 prop, as was what I thought was thinking. I don't know. That was wild. But yeah, for me, it was one of those events where it's like I had a decent loss, like down 3.7 units, but it probably should have been much bigger than that. Like I got pretty much everything wrong. I was on the Ribovics finish only too. That's shocking to me that he got finished by Mateus Gamrot, but it happened. Yeah. Big ups to Mateus Gamrot.
He looked great, dude. Don't want to take anything away from Gamrot. He looked phenomenal in that fight, just like he did against Ludovic.
Yeah, you look great. Yeah. But I was expecting maybe a Gamrot decision, but geez. So got lost to finish only there. I was very confident in Kelvin Gastelum that he could beat a very, very washed Vicente Luque. And I was watching the fight, and it's like Gastelum starts wrestling. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you wrestling? The only way that Luque wins is with a front choke. He started wrestling. Like, what are you doing, Kelvin?
Yeah.
And then a couple minutes later, he gets dropped. Like, what do you mean you're getting dropped by Vicente Luque? Like, how are you showing worse durability than Vicente Luque? Like, the finish only for Gastelum, best price, Wheezy, was like minus 400.
Oh my God.
For the finish only. So I couldn't believe that. And the old me would have came on here and did like a 30-minute rant or made a rap about Kelvin Gastelum. But I have matured, so I'm not going to do that. But that hurt because I had Kelvin in a parlay and I took him to win inside the distance. Shocked that Vicente Luque won, but hopefully we get a good number to fade him in his next fight. What else? Oh, I fell into the biggest trap of the card, the under 1.5 in the Reyes Walker fight. Weezy, anytime there's a fight doesn't go to decision, priced at minus 600 from now on, let's just auto bet the over. I mean, that was ridiculous. Like, they should cut both Dominic Reyes and Johnny Walker for that. Like, they should fine them. They should take away their paycheck. Like, they didn't show up. They didn't try to fight. And I even called it. We talked about it on Sunday. We're like, it's a trap. And I'm like, dude, Johnny Walker is training at Extreme Couture. And Eric Nixick and the boys, they love their overs, man. Eric Nixick loves their overs. I mean, anytime there's an Extreme Couture fighter and the fight should finish, just bet the over. Bet the over. I don't know what the game plan for Johnny Walker was, to do absolutely nothing for 15 minutes, and then same with Reyes. So I fell into that trap. I lost the unit to Anzabat Mirzakana by knockout. I also was on the Pico fight ends by knockout. So I got a ton wrong, Wheezy. But what saved me from not losing a ton of money was I had a Hail Mary parlay half unit shot at plus 642. The two legs were Charles Racky, decision, submission, double chance, parlayed with Cub Swanson to win by knockout. So that was huge. And then I also had the fight doesn't go decision pretty big in the Lambert Swanson fight. So the Swanson fight kind of salvaged my night a little bit. And then I also had the fight won't start round 4 in the Olberg Prohashka fight, which probably should have been a max bet. The under 2.5 in the Olberg fight ended up being plus money. I didn't get that. Yuri's been under 2.5 in 33 fights. So I don't know why people were betting the over. But and then I had Jiri KO 2-3-4. If that fight would have started round 2, Yuri was cashing that, but he got knocked out brutally. So yeah, it was a loss, but I'm kind of happy I didn't get smoked. Like, I feel like I should have got wrecked. I feel like my reads have been phenomenal this last month. I think this is the worst my reads have ever been. So big ups for Cub Swanson helping me out and getting that knockout. Because if he didn't, Weezy, it'd be like minus 8 unit night if Cub Swanson didn't get that knockout. So we'll see how Winnipeg goes, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. I already have one bet locked in, and it should be a pretty fun and exciting card. Let's do the recap of the piping and milking of the week. So once again, we let you guys vote, and you guys killed it here. The milking of the week: Mateus, Gamrot, Esteban, Rivervex. When we're talking about a milking, this is what we mean. This is what we mean by a milking. So you guys killed it with the milking of the week. You guys nailed it on the head. But the piping of the week, you guys voted for an old man. You guys voted for a 70-year-old man to go out there and milk Paulo Costa. So you guys went 1-on-1 on the milking and the piping. But prior to that, last couple of weeks, you guys have been doing good. So, Azamat did not pipe or did not. Did I put milk? I meant to be pipe. You guys voted him for piping. But either way, he did not get piped. All right, and then let's vote to see who needs to get help. So here are the options this week. The options were Bruce Buffer.
Yeah,
I love Bruce Buffer. I love Bruce Buffer. But come on. We can't be doing this every week, Bruce Buffer. The Marcin Tybura situation. Announce Tybura as the winner. Oh, never mind. Let's bring him back. Marcin, you didn't win. Okay. And then the whole Chris Padilla situation. Like, we can't be doing this every week. It's happened twice in the last couple of weeks. I don't want it to happen again. So Bruce Buffer, potentially Wheezy, he might need some help. Yeah. Who else? Yuri Prohashka.
Yeah. I mean,
Yuri Prohashka potentially might need some help. I mean, it was like minus 2,800. It was something crazy. I think minus 2,800 lives. Yeah. Up until the knockout. And then it's like, what are you doing, Yuri? He's pointing at the ground. He's yelling at Olberg. Like, why are you yelling at him, Yuri? Why are you yelling at Carlos Olberg? Just Just finish him, Yuri. I also put two guys. I think this is the first time I put two guys up there as a whole. Dominic Reyes and Johnny Walker. They both need help. I mean, what was that? That wasn't a fight. Why are we sparring? I don't even want to call it sparring, because at least in sparring you're gonna throw something. Neither guy threw anything. I mean, it was pitiful. The matchmakers tried to deliver us a highlight reel knockout, but they didn't want to be there. Neither guy wanted to be there. And then Kelvin Gastelum's losing to Vicente Luque in 2026. Like I think all four of these options are highly warranted. But you guys voted, and in fourth place was Bruce Buffer at 8%. So I guess Bruce doesn't need help. Third place is Kelvin Gastelum at 20%. Second place is Dominic Reyes, Johnny Walker, 23%. And then first place is Yuri Prochazka at 49%. I think, honestly, Yuri might need the most help out of anybody since Isaac Dalgarian, Weezy.
I already went over on Clint's show how much that cost me, like it was just brutal. And credit to Ulberg. It was a perfect punch. It was a perfect left hook right on the tip of the chin, a chin spinner, knockout shot. Good on him. He swarmed, but I mean, to lose against a guy that's on one leg, and he's on one leg. We were talking about it on the Fight Companion, Brady, where they showed the slow motion of his calf shaking, and I said he either blew out his Achilles tendon or his knee's blown out. It's one or the other. Your calf doesn't move like that unless something tore. And yeah, he was on one leg, and he threw a Hail Mary left hook, and it was perfect. Yeah. Because Yuri always keeps his hands down, because Yuri's never been defensively responsible, because Yuri thinks he can take any shot that lands. And that's why that fight was a pick'em, is because Yuri probably should have won, but you knew that he could walk onto something. We've seen it happen before.
Yep, it was crazy. So I bet the round 1 point spread for Ulberg as well, and it was the worst bet of all time. Somehow I ended up cashing. I'm like, that's what I cashed is the round 1 point spread for Carlos Ulberg. Jeez. So yeah, what a card that was. It was a weird card. It was full of twists and turns, but it was a great card nonetheless. And I think this card's going to be fun. I'm hoping a couple of these fights get canceled. Like we can go ahead and cancel the Bozer fight. We can go ahead and cancel the Jamie Lynn Horth and Aldrich fight. If we can cancel some of these fights, we get it down to like a smooth 11 fight card. I think it'd be a really good card.
That's what I want to see the UFC do a little bit more of. Is quality, not quantity. These 14. They put together 14 straight weeks of cards, and then they're putting back to back 14 fight weeks. Like, are you trying to kill us?
Yeah.
This is tough. So yeah, there were a couple of fights on this card where it's like, oh, they added Siraj versus Yannis. Thank you guys. One more fight to research. Another 7 pages for my old ass to write up. Oh, God help us.
Yeah, we gotta normalize cancelizing shit fights. Gotta normalize it. Let's not cancel.
We gotta put that on a shirt. Normalize canceling shit fights, and then Stat Diggers on the back. That would be great,
that'll sell out fast. We got to get some Stat Diggers merch out here. All right, we're gonna try to get to the comments kind of quick here, guys. Weezy was just on with Clint for like 2.5 hours, so I don't want to make him go another 2.5 here. That'd be ridiculous. Yuri needs to sweep the pole, possibly the biggest blunder in UFC history. Yeah, like I said, right behind Isaac Dalgarian. Dalgarian number 1 blunder. Yuri probably at number 2. It's just crazy. Yuri made the biggest mistake of his life in that moment. Was it mercy or autism? I don't know what it was. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. We got Pablo saying, for the love of MMA, cut Reyes and Walker. Agreed. Under global rules, both fighters would have received 2 yellows and a red card. The fight would have been called off, and both fighters would be suspended. Yeah, I was talking about that on the Fight Companion, Weezy. If I'm reffing that fight, I'm stopping the fight. The fight's over. The fight's over. We're sending it to the scorecards. If you don't want to be there, don't show up. I mean, that was ridiculous. They basically
Mark Smith was reffing that fight. I think he would have stopped it for timidity. hates that. And too bad Mark Smith's got a torn ACL, man.
Oh,
just like Carlos Oberg, because I think Mark Smith might have been the only guy, or Beltran probably would have started fighting both of them himself.
Yeah, give me Beltran over both of them.
I don't know how that happened, man. That's on the main card in Miami, and they let them fight like that. That was an absolute disgrace. If I'm Dana, I'm cutting them both during the presser after the fight.
Normalize cutting fighters that don't want to fight. Let's
yes.
cut. I don't care if Dominic Reyes is a top 5. Cut him.
Yeah,
cut Johnny Walker. Cut him.
You let Ngannou walk. You know, you're cutting a 7-1 Martin Budai. You're cutting Jairzinho Rosenstruik, who was death touching dudes when he got into the UFC.
Yep.
You know, but you're gonna let these guys come out there and stink it up, take a rip right in the middle of the octagon, and then smile and wave at the crowd like some kind of a WWE heel. We got served watching that fight. And then one fight later, thank God, Josh Hokett and Curtis Blades saved us with the best MMA performance that's probably we're going to see this year out of two fighters. I was advocating they both get $250,000 bonus for that fight, and it should have come directly out of Trump's pocket.
Well, Hokett did get a $250,000. He got both the performance bonus and the fight of the night bonus.
Dude, that's awesome. Crazy. And I was saying Blades too. I mean, Blades deserves a big chunk of cash for that incredible performance that he put on too.
Yep, he got fight of the night as well. So yeah, shout out to both guys there. Let's get these loonies and toonies. Let's get it, Gus. What is up? We got Dustin dropping by to show the boys some love watching Kill Tony. So I'll catch up with y'all tomorrow when I'm Macy barbering these chickens at the plant. Oh God, poor chickens. But I love chickens. So Elijah one in the building. What is up? I hope this card ends up being a fun one. I think it'll be a fun one for sure. Reyes was talking about going out on his shield. It was horrible.
That's how you know it's never going to happen. It's like Izzy Adesanya saying he's going to test his grappling this fight. It's like, you liar.
Oh God. Yuri and Reyes Walker doesn't get the decision, costing me 6 units. Yeah, whenever they have a fight doesn't go lined at like -600 to -1,000, we just got to bet the overs, especially if extreme couture fighters are involved, because you know damn well it's going over then. We got Jake in the building saying, "Oi, what is up? How do we go from one of the worst fights of all time to one of the best? I know you're telling me." Yuri ruined a 7-leg. Oh God. Eric Nixick, overs reign supreme, should change their camp to extreme over 1.5. I've been saying it for a long time. I'm glad people are starting to catch on. I've been calling it out. You know, I need to hit up Cash Patel about this shit, Weezy. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. Congratulations to Esteban Rubix for coming to the third fighter to earn a BJJ transparent belt after Junior Tafa and Nikolai Veretennikov. That was bad, man. Vicini Luque dropping you was terrible. I couldn't believe it. We got Dan from Half the Battle. What is up, Dan? Josh Hokett, savior of the UFC and the heavyweight division. Yeah, the heavyweight division needed it, man. But this week we got freaking Tanner Bozer and Gokan Saichum, or whatever the hell his name is. It's so bad. It's so bad. But Hokett is saving the heavyweight division by himself. Hokett has proven that insanity is the best base for MMA. Yeah, it was awesome. Hokett is going to sleep Lewis real quick. Yeah, I don't see that fight last until the second round. We got Carlos checking in. It's 3 a.m. Wow. Jeez. It's late, man. Get some sleep. You can watch it tomorrow. It's so late. Late again. No, we were not late. I'm early. There we go. Kelvin Gastelum needs all the help. Dude needs a staff of scientists. Yeah, I agree. We all need help for watching this Winnipeg card. I think at least half the fights will be fun, though. Half the like it's going to be rough sitting through 15 minutes of Horth cage pushing Aldrich, but there's going to be some fun fights, I think. The fact that Gastelum was only 19% is crazy and needs so much help. I would tend to agree. Like I said, if the old me would have came on here and ranted about it for 30 to 45 minutes, maybe made a rap or a song, but sometimes you got to grow up, and I did. So not going to crap on Gastelum too much. Time for Burns to be another value losing bet. I mean, Burns went from plus 425 to he's like plus like 3, or I think it might be plus 275 now. Crazy line movement. We got Cole Stein. What is up? Yuri needs some help. Agreed. Julian LeBlanc, the lead singer from The Strokes, is it?
No, it's Julian Casablancas. So it's close. It's close enough. But yeah, very good.
We got Drunken Boxing. What is up? Appreciate you all not taking the week off for a card like this because the UFC sure did. Yeah, they just added some. Like, I don't get some of these Canadian fighters they're bringing in. Like, they're not UFC level fighters. Possible milking of the week: Jasmine Jazz the Vicious to milk Silva. I don't mind that. We'll talk about it. Yuri was supposed to win. I still haven't recovered from what I witnessed. I refuse to accept it. Life has lost all meaning to me. I'm still shocked at what happened. 150 likes and Wheezy has to put a unit on Burns. Let's go, boys. I don't know about that. If two people sign up on Underdog, Wheezy has to put a full unit on Dennis Bazookia. Oh God, come on, guys.
Yeah, you know what? That's fine because I hate Bazookia. I do. Like, I don't like this guy. You know how I'm really prejudiced against anybody from the Northeast regional scene. I don't know I don't know why it is, but when I see somebody coming out of that regional scene, I immediately just hate them. It's something I really need to work on as a human being, Brady. I'm too old. To have prejudices like this, but I don't know what it is, man. I just can't stand him. And I think he's going to get served. But like, yeah, if we get 2 Underdog signups, full unit on Bazookia, but I am not tracking it. And I am not giving it out to my paid subscribers. That much I can assure you.
That's a deal. We got Narco in the building. What is up, Narco? A great call on Racky for the Onk. Good luck to both of you this week. Good luck to you as well, Narco. Hopefully you had a good weekend as well. We got Bong Hoots. Let's go, Wheezy, right off the Die Hard MMA pod. Yeah, it went 2.5 hours. I couldn't believe it. I was like, geez, it's like, give me like 5 hours of content. It's just too much. Cost a decision away from hitting a 120 to 1 Lambo parlay. That was painful. Geez, I mean, it was cruising to be a cost a decision too. That freaking sucks, man.
We had him, dude. He was winning the 3rd round. He won the 1st round. He did lose the 2nd, but Azamat wasn't going to win that 3rd round. He looked dead.
I mean, Costa came out like spamming the head kick, and Azamat just didn't block it like 5 times in a row. It was kind of wild.
Too tired to keep his arms up anymore, man. Azamat without all the chest hair was not plus EV.
He's so old. He's like 80. We can't fault him too much. All right, guys. What else we got here? Get some help. Kelvin Gaslam agreed. And announcer removed. We gotta keep buffer, but it's like, come on, Bruce, let's go. Let's get it together. We got Dr. Peener in the building. What's up, Big Brady and Moises? Got some bad news. I lost my house. I bet $380K on Yuri to fight reasonably. Gosh, yeah, it's not good, man. Losing your house is not
juiced
fun.
On it too, damn it.
Yeah, not cool. Luka inside the distance plus 600 was juicy. Yeah, it was a very juicy number. Yuri showed him mercy, and he promised he will destroy that part of himself. So we're going to get a crazy, even crazier version of Yuri next fight. That's kind of exciting to think about. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Peener will be all right. He's got a lot of more Peeners to look at. He'll be all right. Yeah. Looking at Peeners makes a lot of money, I'm sure. Bozer is a Canadian gangster. Yep, he's back.
He's a marauder, dude.
It feels like it's 2020 again. Autism is a good base for MMA, but you can't have too much. Case in point, Yuri. Yeah, I can't believe it. 30 likes and 133 people in the chat. Shame. Pipe it up. Come on. Let's get the likes up, guys. Let's get the likes up. We got Danger checking in. What is up, MSG Danger? If I saw Tony Hillcliffe, I might have to smack that annoying weasel. Oh, gosh. Why, Jerry? Yeah, we were saying that. Why?
I know. Why?
I had a max bet on Reyes versus Johnny Walker going to decision. So did Eric Nixick. So you guys both cleaned up. Nice. Saw Eric Nixick at the steakhouse. Got a nice lobster. Got a nice steak. Eric Nixick and the boys eating good as always. We got D checking in. What is up, D? We got Bung Hoots with a $2 dono. Appreciate you, Bung Hoots, saying shout out to Brady's commentary on the live companion. I mean, we like to have fun. We like to have fun. It gets a little crazy. It does get a little crazy, so I think we might have to tone it down a little bit. But
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yes, you were on fire, dude. Your commentary is like legit the best, man. It's so good.
I'm like a whole different person. Doing commentary and breaking down fights is like a complete difference. Brady, we need to investigate Bruce Buffer for potentially reading these scorecards and results incorrectly so people can bet it live, and all of a sudden Bruce has a paid cruise. I mean, if Bruce wants to go on a cruise, he can, but yeah, we need to investigate Bruce Buffer. We need to investigate Johnny Walker. We need to investigate Extreme Couture. We need to investigate Eric Nixick. We need to investigate Nate Landwehr. Nate, what was that, man? What was wrong with Nate Landwehr? And then I can't get the look of Nate Landwehr's face out of my head when they were reading the decision, Wheezy. Nate Landwehr was just staring off into the abyss with an 1,000-yard stare. It looked like he was on drugs. Nate Landwehr didn't throw a single punch. So I think a lot of people need to be investigated. My goodness. All right, guys, we got to get into it. We got a lot to talk about, and I say we start with the first fight on the card. It is going to be Jamie Siraj going against John Yannis. We got Jamie Siraj, 31 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. John Yannis, 31 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Same age there. Yannis with a 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Siraj making his debut here, but he's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. As far as Yannis, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He lost to Austin Bashi by submission in his debut. So yeah, they added this fight like I think a week ago. I'm like, what the heck? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? But I think it's going to be interesting. I think they're kind of trying to set up Jamie Siraj here for a win in Canada because they're giving him John Yannis, and yeah, he got submitted by Austin Bashi. We can forgive him for that, but you go and watch that Nick Aguirre fight. Nick Aguirre, he fought in the UFC, he got cut. But Nick Aguirre is a guy that has like 5 to 7.5 minutes of cardio. I don't think Nick Aguirre is that great. But in every single round of that fight, Weezy, Nick Aguirre was taking down John Yannis with little to no resistance. Nick Aguirre also got to the back a couple times as well. And Jamie Siraj, this guy's kind of a punching bag. He's been hurt a lot. He's got knocked out before, but he's super tough. And if he gets your back, the fight will be over shortly after. He's a BJJ black belt, so I think Siraj will be able to get takedowns here. John Yannis just can't stuff a takedown. John Yannis gives up his back all the time. It's kind of looking to me like it's going to be a Jamie Siraj submission at some point in this fight. So as long as Jamie Siraj didn't get the talk in the back, he should go out there, take this guy down, and probably submit him. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight that they just had to have on this card?
Yeah, they just had to give it to us. And, poor Yan, poor John here. What did he do? They're going to give you Austin Bashi in your debut, like a pure grappler when you can't wrestle. The guy, John's a pure striker, right? He's a boxer. He's a volume guy. He wants to box. He wants to strike. And he wants to kind of use his wrestling in reverse to keep fights standing. But his defensive wrestling isn't any good. And they gave him Bashi in his debut, which was just a horrible matchup. And I think it was short notice for him, too. And like you said, we saw Nick Aguirre, the same thing, he was able to get him down. And I was watching other fights where Yannis was just having problems, with people that were trying to grapple him. And then I went and I watched the tape on Siraj, and I was like, oh, man, they're doing it to this guy again. What did John do, because this guy's going to just grapple you. His fights, very small percentage of the fights that I watched, and I watched the Matos fight, the Iraq fight, the Brandao fight, and the Abdurrashidov fight. He spends about 20% of his cage time at distance striking range. This guy is not going to be satisfied striking with Yannis. So I think he's going to, even if he doesn't get to top position, he'll wind up sweeping and getting to top position, looking to advance to the back, looking to finish with a rear naked choke. And I think he's probably going to get it. Siraj is 7-1 to the submission as a pro, and Yannis is 0-2. Oh. So, yeah, it's just, this is a tailor-made matchup for a guy that has been talking about, I want to be in the UFC. And these wins haven't been great, man. Brandao kind of kicked his ass. Iraq was winning every minute up until he got swept at the end of the second round and lost to the rear naked choke. Matos was winning that fight. Abdurrashidov fight was back and forth, but I didn't watch anything before that. But this is a perfect matchup for Siraj stylistically. He's going to be able to get the takedowns against this guy. He's not going to settle for distance striking exchanges. And I don't think Yannis is going to be able to do anything about keeping this fight where he needs it to be in order to be successful. So I think this is a good spot for the Canadian in the opener.
Yeah, I agree, and so do the odds makers, Weezy, because he opened up minus 250. He's currently minus 256. Giannis opened up plus 210, currently plus 216. I feel like instead of laying minus 256 on Siraj, I'd probably just rather play the sub prop, if anything. The submission prop is plus 190, so maybe could get it at a solid price on a different book once those open up. But yeah, minus 250. I don't know. I wasn't that impressed with Siraj. Like I think he's a little bit chinny. He's been hurt in a lot of these fights, but kind of seems like a tailor-made matchup for him. All right. You're like Ian Gary if he wasn't such a fairy. You're like Song Yadong with a King Kong schlong. God.
You gotta love Josh Hokett, man.
Oh, Nate the train, but yeah, we were watching that fight live. I was like, the train's off the rails right now. It's like Nate Landwehr's broke. He didn't throw a single strike. So
I think so. I think he was in a K-hole out there. It's like somebody slipped something into his drink because Cub just ran through him, man. It was wild.
At least I don't know. It's crazy. Nate took Ellis. It looked like it. He was not all there, man. I mean, look at when they were reading the final decision. He was staring. It was the 1,000-yard stare. Oh, Landwehr's power double against Herb Dean was the best takedown of the night. Oh gosh, Nate got piped. He got piped on sight. Nate Cub was a fix. A couple people are saying that. Brady, I'd like to take your back. Oh God, please don't. Artem, I just ate lunch and I'm still hungry. I ate lunch like 12 hours ago at this point.
So long ago.
Oh, love you boys. We love you too. As a Canadian, this card is very underwhelming and disappointing seeing the current state of Canadian MMA compared to what was 10 to 15 years ago. Well, you got Jamie Siraj, you got Gokan, you got, who's that bum that's fighting Valentine?
That's Julien Leblanc.
Oh, yeah. I think he's probably one of the worst fighters to ever step foot in the UFC. He's so bad. But you guys have Jasmine Jazz the Vicious.
Yes.
Jasmine,
and Mike Malott. Main event fighter.
Yeah.
Movie star handsome too, Brady. So like this guy this is a kid that can move the needle, for a Canadian. Canada needs a superstar, and it might be, the power couple, as it were, even though they're not a couple. Jasmine Jazz the Vicious. Well, actually, the power threesome. Jasmine Jazz the Vicious, Jillian Robertson. How would you like to get in between that? And then Mike Malott,
Yeah, I'd like to.
Who says Canada's not churning out good-looking people, Brady? Who says?
Yeah, I agree. Good morning from down under, fellas. Good morning to you as well. DC says Olberg is from Australia in his interview on his channel.
Oh, maybe he is, but I know he trains in New Zealand, so. They are definitely different countries.
Yeah.
Ask them.
Oh God, we got
our guy.
Oh gosh, Isaac Dalgarian. Jeez, it's crazy. Going and watching the Isaac Dalgarian, Yadier Dalvai fight, and then watching the Jordan Levitt, Isaac Dalgarian fight. Like, Isaac, we caught you, buddy.
Was that Jordan Levitt or Jordan Burroughs? Because he was absolutely able to out-wrestle Yadier Dalvai in a way that Isaac Dalgarian just somehow wasn't able to, it was not the most convincing fix we've ever seen, Isaac. Let's just put it that way.
I just want to verify. I could have sworn I heard you say you were I was very, very confident in Kelvin Gastelum. Yes. Sometimes you get him wrong. Late to the show to turn the Yuri fight off after Olberg's leg blew out. Shit way to win the belt, but it is what it is. Yuri's first defense against Costa. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh.
Boy, Average, we need to have a talk. You're gonna need to sit down.
Oh,
because I got some bad news for you.
Take a seat. All right, let's move on to the next fight. And it is going to be an interesting one. We got John Castaneda going against Mark Vologdin. We got John Castaneda, 34 years old, 5'6" with a 71-inch reach. We got Mark Vologdin, 25 years old, 5'3" with a 65-inch reach. We got Vologdin 9 years younger, Castaneda with a 3-inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. John Castaneda is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Daniel Santos. Decision win against Moin Gafarov. A decision win against Kung Ho Kong. A decision loss to Daniel Marcos. And then a decision loss to Chris Gutierrez. As far as Mark Vologdin, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He had one of the best, if not the best, Contender Series fight of all time against Martinetti. Lost that fight by decision, but got signed regardless, and as he should have. I mean, that fight was absolutely incredible. So there's been a couple interesting lines this week, Weezy. A lot of dogs flipping to favorites. Valentine was a dog. For some reason, he flipped to a favorite, and money's pouring in on him. I think this line's starting to flip. I think money's starting to come in on John Castaneda. And I kind of tend to agree. John Castaneda just fought the much, much, much better competition. He's been in the UFC for a while now. He's quietly racked up like 8 UFC fights. And he's hanging with a lot of these good strikers on the feet. Like Chris Gutierrez, that was a very close fight. He was hanging with him on the feet. He had some solid moments against Daniel Marcos as well. He has some solid wins in the UFC. He's going to be much bigger in this match. He's going to have a 3-inch height advantage, a 6-inch reach advantage. Mark Vologdin's kind of small for the division. And I think Castaneda is going to have the wrestling advantage as well. So I kind of lean at John Castaneda in this one. I'm a big fan of, Vologdin's fight. But at the end of the day, he absorbed like 160 significant strikes to the face. He was very hittable. He didn't wrestle. He actually got taken down a couple times in his own right. So I'm not really sure what we can take away from that loss other than, he had a very exciting fight. So, yeah, Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight? One of the line moves that, it looks like Castaneda is actually now the favorite. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I mean, when I look at my strength of schedule rankings, I've got Castaneda ranked 24th out of 90 in a division that's just full of studs. And when you look at it, it makes sense when you look at the numbers, right? Because he's fighting guys that have combined records in the UFC of 52 and 32, 10.5 average fights, a 1.6 win to loss ratio. But the guys who are beating him in his 4 losses, they have combined UFC records of 30 wins and 9 losses. Castaneda is losing to guys like Daniel Marcos and Chris Gutierrez and Daniel Santos. These guys have got really good UFC records. So, it's hard to know how Vologdin's going to fit into the division. I think he's kind of like an interesting, unique type of opponent that you're going to see in the bantamweight division, only being 5'3" with a 65-inch reach. But the guy covers distance deceptively well. He's pretty fast, actually. He for a guy as bricked up with muscle as he is, he looks really fast with his hands and his spin attacks. He's got a traditional martial arts striking style. So for a guy that's 5'3", you don't expect him to be able to close that distance, but his kicks are good. He's kind of fast and he closes distance well. So I'm kind of interested to see how he does against a guy like Castaneda, because I mean, let's face it, Vologdin was a bit of a punching bag on Dana White's Contender Series. That guy Martinetti landed well over 100 significant strikes, if I remember correctly. It was a war. And, he definitely slowed down in the second half of the fight. So I kind of feel like Vologdin might be really dangerous early. And then as the fight goes on, I'd look for Castaneda with the more well-rounded skill set, the much better wrestling than Vologdin. And, the much more tested striking at the UFC level. I mean, it's kind of hard to picture Vologdin running over John Castaneda when like Daniel Marcos didn't, when Chris Gutierrez didn't, when he's beating guys like Kyung Ho Kong and Moin Gafarov. So, yeah, I have to lean towards the Castaneda side. He has more ways to win this fight. I think I rate him as a better chance to win rounds 2 and 3 in this fight. And there's a big UFC experience and strength of schedule advantage on the Castaneda side, in addition to there being the height and reach advantages. So I just worry a little bit about the 1-year layoff for Castaneda. Kind of a long layoff here, but yeah, he should be better than Vologdin. It's just he can't get caught early because this kid's got deceptive speed and power, especially early in the fight. And if he gets clipped, that could be problems.
Yep. I think Castaneda at plus 110 was a pretty solid bet. At minus 120, I don't know. Not really running to the window for it. Because I think Vologdin's pretty good, and he's young. He's a lot younger. He can make improvements. I think he will be making improvements. So, yeah, we'll see. Vologdin El Kolichin.
Golochin?
Golochin, what does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
I think I got a feeling it's butt related, but I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Mark Vologdin is built like a T-Rex. Oh, we got the Otter Bomb in the building. What is up, Otter Bomb? Sexy Mexi. Yes.
Yay.
Brady loves the nickname Sexy Mexi. He's biased. No, I don't. I mean, I how can you not like the nickname Sexy Mexi? But no, that's not why I'm leaning his way. We got Gail with the super sticker. Appreciate you, Gail, helping sponsor the show. Big ups to Gail there. Let's see here. Chris Padilla needs to start an investigation into the Paramount era corruption. Chris outstruck him every round, and Markel had a point deducted. Yeah, I mean, we were watching that one live. I thought for sure once that point was deducted, Padilla was going to win for sure. And then he did win, and then they said, never mind, right? Never mind, it's a draw. Crazy. It's crazy stuff. Jazz the Vicious will win. Easy money. We'll talk about that fight in a little bit. Mark has Vanessa Demopoulos arms. Oh gosh, he's a loser on Dana White's contender. Has a loser on Dana White's contender series ever won their first UFC fight? I'm not sure off the top of my head. Any examples you can think of, Weezy?
Yes, Chanel Dyer just got a win, and I think while Jose Medina didn't necessarily get a win, I'd say that he stole our hearts, Brady.
Oh yeah. I guess he did. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. JJ Aldrich going against Jamie Lynn Horth. We got Aldrich, 33 years old, 5'5" with a 67-inch reach. Horth, 36 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. Aldrich, 3 years younger. Horth with a 2-inch height advantage, same reach. We got Aldrich, 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Decision loss to Lipsky, a knockout win against Liang Na, a decision win against De La Rosa, a decision loss to Hardy, and then a decision win against Andrea Lee. As far as Horth, 3-2 in her last 5 fights. A decision loss to Hardy. Decision win against Petrovich. A decision loss to Maverick. Decision win against Demopoulos. And then a knockout win against Teresa Bleda. If we can save some time on this one, Weezy, because I'm not going to be betting on this fight. And if we weren't doing the fight companion, I wouldn't be watching it. But I guess I will be watching it this Saturday. Eileen Horth, she's the Canadian. I think her size, her physicality, her strength is going to, win her the fight. Some cage pushing here. Got the Canadian crowd behind her. I lean Horth in a pretty close decision. I do like the striking of Aldrich, but I think Horth's gonna mix in the clinching in this fight.
She's huge, Brady. She's much bigger than JJ, 2 inches taller, but they have the same reach. Southpaw versus Orthodox at distance striking range, but it's kind of hard to believe that Horth has the same reach as Aldrich, because it just doesn't look like that's going to be the case, when they get in there. And a lot of times, sometimes like people have wider shoulders, and that area between the shoulders is useless when it comes to your reach, but it's counted. So I'm just interested to see how this one goes, because Horth needs this in a phone booth, in my opinion. Even though she's taller and longer, and I think she's got a little bit more pop on her punches, JJ Aldrich is clearly going to be the more talented, technically sound striker. I mean, Horth moves like molasses in January, but she does hit hard, and she can stick you up against that fence and staple you there and really mess you up in the clinch. And that's one thing I mentioned on Clint's show, Brady, was the clinch striking numbers for this fight. JJ Aldrich has been outstruck in the clinch 153 to 102, while Horth has outstruck her opponents 74 to 37. So Jamie Lynn is probably just going to want to close the distance and use her physicality and, win this fight in the clinch, and maybe with some takedown attempts and maybe a little bit of top time. But I think the longer that this fight stays at distance striking range, that JJ being faster, being cleaner, being the southpaw is going to give Jamie Lynn Horth some problems. So in my opinion, this kind of comes down to phase control. And when I see a fight that's coming down to phase control, I always look on the SP tab at what percentage of these fighters' octagon time is spent at distance striking range. For JJ Aldrich, it's 75%. That's bullish if you're expecting the striker to be better at distance striking range. While for Jamie Lynn Horth, it's only 52%. So Jamie Lynn Horth spends about half of her time in the clinch and on the mat, while JJ Aldrich spends only about 25% of her octagon time in the clinch and on the mat. So it's going to come down to which fighter can force the type of fight that they want. And in that case, I'm kind of leading Aldrich a little bit here, even though she's the underdog, because she has more UFC experience. She's got the better UFC wins. And I think that she should win the distance striking exchanges here.
Yeah. I don't know. But what I do know is, wow, a lot of money is coming in on Aldrich. So Horth opened up minus 300 for some reason. She's currently minus 149. Aldrich opened up plus 250. She's currently plus 135. So a lot of money is coming on Aldrich, which makes sense. It's going to be a close fight. It's going to be a split decision. It's going to go to the crooked, blind, corrupt judges. And Bruce Buffer's probably going to read it wrong anyway. So, yeah, it's I'm not touching this one. We got Stacks in the building. What is up? The anti-lotion fight. Yeah, gosh. Yeah, no lotion for me on this one. Aldrich, she's winning. She's better everywhere. She's definitely the better striker. Horth is a dog. I think she's going to be too much for JJ. All the lotion in the world couldn't help. Oh, guys, come on. You know, these ladies need some love too. Team Horth. Aldrich has a handsome forehead. Oh, gosh. You got money pouring in on JJ Aldrich.
Wow.
Brady, can we start a poll for the men in the chat? If you had to choose one of these female fighters to save the future of humanity as the last two people on Earth, who would you pick, JJ or Jamie Lynn Horth? I would, definitely Horth. Definitely. I can't look at that forehead.
Well,
Aldrich, one of the biggest foreheads in the UFC, Aldrich.
It is pretty big, but you don't necessarily have to look at the forehead if you get the right position. So I'm going with JJ.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Horny for this event. There we go. We got Lucis
in
the building. Oh, he's always horny. Whether it's an Apex card or in Canada, you can count on Lucis Oli being very horny. Just check his X account. I think he got suspended though. No, I did see him. I did see him posting this week, this last week.
Good.
Yeah. We got MMA Locker Room Mills in the building. What's up, Brady Weezy? Guess what fighter I interview that fights on the prelims? No time. It's a guy named Juice.
Juice on the prelims of this card. Julien Leblanc. Do you speak French?
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's the only Juice, unless John Yannis is Juice, or
maybe Mills speaks French.
He might.
Good on him.
He's a man of many talents.
I like it. 65 likes and 164 fight fans in the chat. Let's pipe with the like button for Brother Brady and the great and powerful Uncle Weezy. We got to get at least 100 likes for this card. I mean, it's Winnipeg.
Yeah. Give us 100 likes. And it's Yannis. He interviewed John Yannis. John.
Okay.
John, because Yannis is just Greek for John. So, I mean, I don't know what Greek would name their kid John when the last name is Yannis. It makes no sense, and that's definitely a Greek name. So,
he's not Greek, though, is he?
I think with a name like Yannis, I don't know what nationality he could possibly be besides Greek. I mean, if he was anything else, I guarantee you, this guy had daily when he says his last name, any Greek would be like, "Oh, you're Greek," Yannis. He'd be talking to him in Greek and be like, "I don't know what you're talking about," But a name like John is just absolutely bonkers.
I kind of like it though. It's different.
Zelnikova by sub.
So if you get 100 likes, Weezy, you got to bet 1 unit on Daria Zelnikova by sub.
How about I just take $100 bill and light it on fire for you guys? I think that would have a better chance of hitting than a Zelnikova by sub bet.
So we need the WikiFeet capping. Yeah, WikiFeet, it's a good thing to look at, but we only have one fighter on WikiFeet for this fight, Weezy. Horth is not on WikiFeet. JJ is, though, and JJ's rating is not horrible. 4.11. It's not great. I'd say it's respectable, a 4.11. So, yeah, Horth is not on WikiFeet, though. Thank God. Horny for Horth. Oh, gosh. Verna. Oh, my goodness. Pick WMA fights on this card by WikiFeet scores. I don't know. Yeah, I think we might be able to see. I know Jasmine's on there for sure. Moss. More. Yes. Only fighter to see the card backwards and put her hand up. Who?
See the card backwards.
I
I'm
don't
talking
know.
about JJ? I don't know.
Melissa Cronin needs to be on WikiFeed. Maybe she is. We'll check. All right, guys, we got to keep moving on. And we're going to move on to the next fight, and it is going to be Alon Nasamento going against Mitch Raposo. We got Nasamento, 34 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Raposo, 27 years old, 5'5" with a 64-inch reach. We got Raposo 7 years younger, 3-inch height advantage for Nasamento, and then a 5-inch reach advantage. Raposo is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Andre Lima, lost that fight by split decision. Lost a split decision by against Sumadarji, and then won a decision against Azat Maksum. As far as Nasamento, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Tigir Ulanbekov. Decision win against Jake Hadley. Submission win against Carlos Hernandez. A decision win against Jafel Filio. And then a submission win against Cody Durden. I'm going to kick it to you because I believe you're Mitch Raposo's #1 fan. I was hearing you really like this guy. You got a Mitch Raposo T-shirt and all. Yeah. So let's hear it. You backing your buddy?
Dude, you know what a fan I am of the Northeast regional scene, Brady. I mean, they're not just giving away wins on the Northeast regional scene. You got to go through some really tough guys like Jay Ellis with 100 losses. And I mean, you're probably going to have 3 fights against Jay Ellis on the regional scene there. So, yeah, Raposo, or as I like to call him, Mr. Electricity. I mean, this guy is just absolute nonstop action. 1.58 significant strikes landed per minute. 3.73 significant strike attempts per minute. He lands a whopping 0.09 clinch and ground strikes per minute spent in control time positions. You want to talk about a guy who works extremely hard at doing categorically jack shit, then Mitch Raposo has got to be your favorite fighter. If you like lateral movement, if you like feints, if you like avoiding the fight, if you like undersized fighters with great power who never swing, if you like talented wrestlers who refuse to mix in the wrestling, you are going to love Mitch Raposo.
And sounds like you're naming Extreme Couture fighters.
Yes, and now he's went from the New England Cartel to Extreme Couture, you know, because that's what you do when you're already only throwing 3.73 significant strike attempts per minute, you know, is you really want to get out there and figure out how to do less.
Yeah, geez.
But he won a fight, and his 2 losses are split decisions. So, like, what this guy does is he kind of just grinds the fight down to a screeching halt and tries to land one more big shot over 5 minutes than you do. And, I mean, it's just AIDS to watch. I'd rather sit there and watch paint dry. You know, I think it would be more productive to take a gallon of milk out of the fridge, put it on the table, and just sit there and watch it spoil for 2 days. You'd probably have a little bit more fun. So maybe Nasamento can try to engage here, but like he's not traditionally spending a lot of time at distance striking range. And while Raposo's at distance striking range, he's really not letting you get anywhere near him. So I think this is an over fight. You know, I mean, like Mitch Raposo would have to throw a punch in order to knock somebody out. And Alon Nasamento might have to like run after this dude like he was Norma Dumont chasing down Chelsea Chandler, you know, in order to try to get him to engage. So I guess I like the overs.
Yeah, it's either Nasamento sub or it goes over. Over minus 165, under plus 145. Money pouring in on Mitch Raposo. He's a really popular dog this week, I see. So Raposo opened up plus 285. He's currently plus 166. Nasamento opened up minus 350, currently minus 191. And I'm picking up what you're putting down, but at the end of the day, like if this fight is fought at distance for 15 minutes, like there's got to be a ton of value on Raposo, right?
Yeah, I mean, like he doesn't get hit very often, but you know, Alon Nasamento has sneaky good distance striking numbers at the UFC level. It's just that he doesn't spend a lot of time there. I don't know how confident Alon is in his striking. We know how confident he is in his grappling. Whether he's on the bottom getting ground and pounded or whether he's in the top position, he wants to be there. He wants to be using his Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and he's historically been very durable. I mean, Nasamento's never been finished in 28 professional fights. So he's going to be there for the full 15 minutes, but like Raposo is kind of good at slowing you down and making it a point fighting battle where he might be able to land the bigger shots. Because one thing about Raposo is, man, when you watch him knocking out these tomato cans on the regional scene, dude, he's killing these dudes. When he lands, man, I mean, he's got real power. I think that's why I'm part of the reason I'm so rough on Mitch is like, I feel like if he did more, he could put up some highlight reel knockouts at this level, but he just doesn't, man. Like that performance against Sumadarji was awful, man. He landed 9 significant strikes over 15 minutes. Oh. And that fight was a split decision somehow. How the hell does that happen?
Oh.
And I don't even know how the Lima fight was a split decision either. I don't think he won any of those 3 rounds. That was kind of weird to me. So I don't know, man. Like Raposo might be able to keep this close, dude. If it goes to decision, that is not something that Nasamento historically has done well. Nasamento has 5 wins and 6 losses to the decision, but he's 17-0 to the finish. So like, you know, Raposo might just try to make this, like I say, grind it to a halt and try to point fight his way to a 29-28 split.
Yeah. I'd rather bet the Nasamento sub than the -200 money line, but Raposo, I think, is a black belt now. You know, that Hadley fight was a while ago, even though it wasn't a great look. But yeah. if Nasamento gets your back, it's going to be over shortly after. Mitch Raposo is Wheezy's favorite fighter. He is. Jay Ellis, the legend. He is a legend. Raposo means fox. Okay. In what language? Nasamento by sub.
Gotta be Italian. That guy can't be anything but Italian.
Yeah. Nasamento by sub. Yeah, it's +200. You know, it's not horrible, I guess. Alon could fumble this if he fights like he did against Durden. He didn't try to really wrestle Durden at all, but he did hurt him, and then Durden shot in, and then he subbed him. Yeah. I made a lot of money on these Nasamento sub props, but I don't know if I'm going to bet it here. Nasamento rear naked choke -200. You can get the sub for +200. Portuguese means fox in Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
Unca's cooking. Mitch Raposo. The over 2.5 is -165. And yeah, Mitch is fighting at Extreme Couture. The only problem, Weezy, though, is this fight is favored to go the distance. So maybe Eric Nixick and the boys might be like, you know, maybe this fight finishes. You know, maybe they do the switcheroony.
Yeah, maybe they unleash Mitch's power because he has some.
There's not a lot of value on this over. You know, with the Walker Reyes fight, I mean, you're getting a big plus money number for the fight goes to decision. So you never know with these Extreme Couture guys. Round 1, rear naked choke for Nasamento. Nasamento is top 10, maybe top 5. That's kind of a hot take. I like Nasamento a lot, though. I think his striking is underrated, and of course his grappling is very good. Nasamento is a weight bully. Yeah, he is. He's like 5'8" as a flyweight. It's crazy. No way ugliest that way. Yeah, he is kind of a weight bully. This is going to look like Gamrot versus Ribovics. Oh, I don't think it looked that bad, but we'll see. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be Melissa Croden going against Daria Zelnikova. We got Croden, 35 years old, 5'9" with a 69.5-inch reach. Zelnikova, 30 years old, 5'9" with a 68-inch reach. Zelnikova, 5 years younger, same height, 1.5-inch reach advantage for Croden. Melissa Croden is 3-2 in her last 5 fights. She had a knockout win in her debut against Tainara Lisboa in the 3rd round. She lost to Luana Santos by decision in her last fight. As far as Zelnikova, 3-2 in her last 5 fights. She made her debut against Montserrat Rendon, won that fight by decision. She got submitted by Eileen Perez, and then she beat Melissa Mullins by decision. So, I mean, it's a fight IQ test here for Melissa Croden, Wheezy. I mean, take Daria Zelnikova down. I mean, Melissa Mullins completely failed the fight IQ test. It was one of the worst displays of fight IQ I've ever seen in my entire life because Daria Zelnikova, on the feet, she's not half bad. You know, she's a pretty good striker, but she has probably one of the worst, if not the worst, ground games in the UFC. We're talking Elise Reed level grappling. She just doesn't know what to do when she's on her back. You can TKO her. You can sub her. I mean, Eileen Perez, for example, She's a decisionator in the UFC. She ran right through Zelnikova, submitted her in the first couple of minutes of the fight. We saw Melissa Mullins in their first fight, took her down with like a minute left. The fight was over very shortly after. And Cronin's mean. She's a dog. She's very nasty in the clinch. And if she gets on top, she's nasty on top as well. On the feet, she is pretty hittable. And at distance, you got to favor Zelnikova. But if Cronin can make this a little dirty, Wheezy, get the fight in the clinch, drag the fight down to the ground, and if Cronin gets on top even once, I kind of think the fight's going to be over shortly after. That's how bad the ground game is of Zelnikova. And where's Zelnikova training at?
It says the MMA Factory. I think that's where Serial Gone trains.
Oh God!
Right?
So she's not working on her ground game.
No, she's not.
Okay, then give me Cronin here for the love of God, Cronin. Get the fight down to the mat. This could be one of the smash your TV fights of the week where you're screaming, Melissa, please get her down to the mat, Melissa. But I think she does. You know, a hometown fighter here. Give me Cronin here, Weezy. But I think I'm still scarred from that Mullins fight.
Dude, I'm permanently scarred from that Mullins fight because Aylin Perez. You could ask Aylin Perez, Aylin, how do you spell sub? She would fuck up the S. Like she would, Brady, she would fuck up the S. So like how does she go out there and immediately get a sub against against Zelezniakova? Mullins was getting absolutely pieced up in the first Zelezniakova fight in Aries FC in France. She gets the takedown with a minute left in the round and finishes her with 10 seconds left in the round. It only took her 50 seconds of top time to get her out of there. And then she doesn't wrestle against Zelezniakova, lets her completely off the hook. I don't know if it was the second round. I think it was the second round where she shoots 0 takedowns and then with 10 seconds left in the round, shoots a takedown. And I remember just losing my mind, absolutely losing my mind because you kind of figured, you know, like Melissa Mullins at minus 250 when Aylin Perez was minus 230 the fight before against Zelezniakova and looked minus 1,000. It should have been some of the easiest money. But for those of you who are saying that Zelezniakova won her last fight, please understand that Melissa Mullins threw that fight. I mean, like, there's no other way to say it. I mean, like, if you are going to refuse to fight in the way that would make it easiest for you to win, then at this level, for all practical purposes, you're fixing the fight. You're throwing the fight on purpose. On purpose, Brady, she didn't wrestle. So it doesn't mean that Melissa Cronin is going to go out there and not wrestle on purpose, because if she does, she's probably going to look just about as good as Aylin Perez, white belt. Aylin Perez looked on top against Daria, immediately submitted her. Brady, I laid minus 180 on Zelezniakova when she fought Montserrat Rendon. And I never laid juice on women's MMA, almost never, because the only times that I've done it was like Melissa Mullins against Zelezniakova. It was Corey McKenna against Elise Reed. You know, it's these absurd, easy matchups where the fighter is just refusing to fight in a way that that's going to actually give them a chance to win. So I laid minus 180, and I was terrified that I was going to lose that fight. Montserrat Rendon was having success on the feet against Zelezniakova, and she easily found some grappling success when she went to it.
Was Zelnikova's face like completely busted up and red?
Dude, if Zelezniakova had a fly land on her face, it would look like hamburger meat. She's had so much work done to her face that one jab lands and it looks like you just bought 3 pounds of ground beef at the store that had been sitting there for too long and all the blood was everywhere. So, I mean, like, Zelezniakova wears damage horribly. So, I mean, like, this feels like a trap spot because it feels like Cronin should be minus 300, minus 400 because Zelezniakova's awful. She got outstruck in stretches by Montserrat Rendon and barely won that fight as a minus 280 favorite. She got ran through and submitted by Perez, who doesn't really know how to do anything but throw ground and pound from top position. And she barely got by Melissa Mullins and barely outstruck Melissa Mullins to a kind of a close decision. I mean, I remember after the fight, I remember saying to you, like, I think she might still even get this, because it was kind of close. So I feel like Melissa Cronin would almost have to throw this fight to lose it. I think she's going to win.
Yeah, we're seeing it eye to eye, but it could be the smash your TV fight of the week.
If I have to smash my TV one more time on a Zelnikova fight, it's not going to be good for me.
It's just her ground game is so bad. Like it's
horrible,
it's so bad. And you're not going to improve your ground game working with Cyril Gahn.
No,
you're just not. It's going to get worse working with Cyril Gahn.
Oh, let me go to a Eurotrash gym and hope I'm going to get better with my wrestling. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, get out of here. So, yeah, I like Cronin too. We'll see where this line goes, but Cronin opened up -150, currently -160. Zelnikova opened up +130, currently +140. What was what's her face Mullins in that fight? Wasn't Mullins like -250?
Yeah, -250, dude.
Okay, yeah. So I think, like you said, I think Cronin has the ability to look -400. Just get
Absolutely.
the fight to the ground.
She dominates her in the clinch and on the mat, and I don't think Daria runs away with the striking exchanges.
Yeah,
I mean, she's not Wang Kong out there.
No, she's not Kong Wong. Or what do they call her? Wong Tong? Why do they?
Yeah, I don't even know how you pronounce a C as a T. That sounds like they're playing a trick on us, Brady.
I hope Wong Tong went to Dan's jiu-jitsu class. I can't believe she didn't finish that RNC to cash me a big round 3 prop.
Oh, God.
Gosh.
Yeah, the beginner's class would be a big time help to her.
I think Zelnikova needs to.
Yeah, she does. Team Octopus. That's where we need to send Zelnikova after this fight.
Yeah, Dan will get her good to go.
Yeah.
Thank God for the fight companion this week, and this card is going to be a duel. I think there's gonna be some really good fights. There's gonna be some really not so good fights, but there's gonna be some good fights. I'm thinking. Melissa, I love you. I like Cronin. She's got that dog in her, man. She's nasty. She gets it, makes it dirty. She dirties it up in the clinch, and if she gets on top, she gets very dirty. I like it. Bray got the lotion type of fight. Yeah. Might have to sprinkle that Cronin round 3 again. Yeah, I was one of the few people that didn't sprinkle the round 3 against Lisboa. Had my finger over the trigger on it all week, and of course it hits. She broke Lisboa's. It was beautiful. Cronin's feet are elite. I don't think she has a wiki feet though, Dixon's. I don't know unless you're subscribed to her OnlyFans.
Yeah, I mean, how would he know that?
Yeah, how would you know that? I don't know. Melissa ITD, it's a big number. It's a big number. Cronin round 3 KO all day. Yeah, all she needs to do is get on top once. But
I don't think it'll take until round 3 if she ggets her down.
Yeah, and Cronin has finished all of her wins too. So,
yeah.
Babyist Nurmagomedov is picking Burns. She's hitting at a 88% clip. Who's that? Is that a predictor?
Babyist Nurmagomedov. Never heard of 88% clip. I could tell you one thing as a mathematician, that's not going to last.
It's a big clip.
Yeah.
Canadian cards. They're hit or miss. I remember the last Canadian card almost broke me. That was the Navajo Sterling KO.
Oh.
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day when Sterling literally KO'd. Was it Ivan Erslan?
It was Erslan. We both had the KO. We both had it in a parlay. Like, it was a massive swing for both of us, man.
Jeez, it was literally over a 10-unit swing for me. I had Sterling in like a 4-leg parlay, and then I had Sterling KO 2-3. Sterling knocks out Erslan. He goes face first in the canvas, which that's usually always stopped when you go face first in the canvas. The ref doesn't stop it. It goes to decision. And I was in a cabin in the woods with my friends, and I would go into the bathroom. I just started screaming, "Why? Why?" They're like, "Why are you screaming, dude?" What do you mean? Why am I screaming? Gosh, it's like
see that, like
over a 10-unit swing, Weezy. Over a 10-unit swing, right there. Crazy. I just smashed my TV watching Walker versus Reyes. Yeah, I mean it's just crazy. I had to put 5K on Raposo fight. right now at plus 200 before it drops. I hope this pick ends up being solid. Well, Uncle Weezy's a big fan of Raposo, so Uncle Weezy's with you. I'm surprised Uncle Weezy's not on Raposo at this moment.
I'm patiently waiting for the right line, Brady, which would be plus 10,000. No, I'm kidding. He might keep it close, man. I mean, who knows, man? He's been close with everybody so far.
So who's back with Nigeria top team?
Croin, maybe.
Croin, that'd be cool. With doesn't Jasmine train there?
Yeah, and it's known as a good wrestling grappling gym, Niagara top team. So that would be a great place for Melissa, because I know that she was training down in Texas with Haley Cohen.
Oh,
so maybe she's back up at Niagara now in her home country, working with some grapplers, because if that would be something that would potentially put this over the top for me. I think this is the first fight I'm going to finish my write-up on, because I'm thinking about making a bet on Croin.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like money's coming in on Zelnikova though, so we'll see.
They can have her. They can fucking have her. She stinks on the ground.
I mean, it doesn't get any worse. We're talking. I think Elise Reed would out-grapple. Elise Reed's like a strawweight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Elise is more experienced, so I mean,
give me Elise Reed, the strawweight, to out-grapple Daria Zelnikova. Oh gosh. Where are we at? Oh gosh. Dixon must be high on meth. Oh gosh. I think Nate Landwehr might have been on meth over the weekend. I mean, that was wild. Brady, who do you think has the best? Does that say tasting of feet on the card? What does that even mean?
I don't know. But Brady, I guess the clue is when you see a name like MMA Pigger, maybe we pass over the comment.
Yeah, you're right.
God bless it. This is a family show, people. Brady has a son.
I do. Yeah.
He has a son.
Yeah. I do.
A wife.
Yep. Can't be.
God.
My mom and dad watch this show. They're actually watching right now.
I'm horrified right now. MMA Bigger, get some help.
Yep. Some people need to get some serious help. Brady, I was there in person for the Navajo fight at 3:15. It's crazy, man. It was crazy. Babyist Nurmagomedov is also on Raposo. Big ups, Nurmagomedov. Never heard of her.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next fight. So we see that one eye to eye. Let's see if we see this one eye to eye. This is so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. Tanner Bozer going against Gokan. How does he pronounce it? Sarasham?
So I think the C is like an S. It's like Sarasham or something like that. So Gokan Sarasham.
Yeah, God, this fight. Bozer bringing him back, 34 years old, 6'2" with a 75-inch reach. Sarasham, 35 years old, 6'3" at the 76-inch reach. We got Bozer 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He had a knockout win against OSP, a decision loss to Nasamento, knockout loss to Kudalaba, decision win against Kamer, and then a knockout win outside the UFC against the very durable Vinicius Moreira. As far as Siraj, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. I mean, this fight stinks, dude. I don't know what's up with the UFC and like bringing in these heavyweights that just stink, and they all stink. The whole heavyweight division stinks, Wheezy, besides Josh Hokett. I don't know. Siraj, at the very least, he can wrestle, so I think he might be able to dictate where this fight takes place, and Tanner Bozer doesn't have the best takedown defense. Sirisham's going to be the Canadian. He's not Canadian, is he? Sirisham?
No, he's Turkish.
Then why are they bringing him in here?
Oh, because he's fighting the Shaved Bears MMA product from the proud country of Canada.
Oh my God,
Tanner Bozer. That's why they're bringing in the Turk to lose to the Canadian.
Then the signing makes even like they couldn't have given Tanner Bozer somebody else. Like, why are they just had to bring in Sirisham? I mean, this guy's not great, but I don't know, Weezy. And I don't really care, to be honest. I mean, I doubt I bet on this fight, and I wouldn't be watching it, but we're doing the fight companion, so I will be watching it. I don't know. I lean Sirisham just because of the takedown upside, and I think the striking could kind of be close, but I don't know. Pass. Big pass.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, Tanner Bozer's on like a 10-month layoff, and like these last 2 guys that Gokan has fought, this Thiago Silva and Natalicio Filio, boy, these guys, I looked into their records. They are complete frauds. And then he's kind of like going to decision with like guys like Said Soma and Oleg Popov and the morbidly obese Kirill Zelnikova.
Oh,
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what to think of Gokan because, first of all, I watched the Oleg Popov fight, which made me like question what I'm doing for a living. That had to be one of the worst fights I've ever seen. And I was watching Mitch Raposo fights this week.
oh God.
So, I mean, like, come on, really? Like, that Oleg Popov fight was a nightmare. 14 minutes of control time and probably 2 significant strikes landed for Popov in that fight. Popov, more like. And then please tell me you watched the Tanner Bozer Vinicius Moreira fight.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I mean, every Moreira fight's hilarious, but that was even more hilarious. Moreira has no cardio, no chin. He's something else.
It was like watching a heavy bag with legs. Like, he was exhausted, Moreira, and he couldn't keep his hands up, but he wouldn't go down. He just got the shit beaten out of him for like the entire fight. Well, no, not the entire fight. He actually got a takedown on Bozer in round 1 and spent pretty much the whole round on top and easily won round 1. And then he was completely gassed after being on top for 3.5 minutes. And goes out there and with hands down probably absorbs about 100 to 120 significant strikes. And then eventually gets knocked down. And when Tanner tells him to stand back up, he can't even stand up. And he took so many steroids, Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember how skinny this dude was at 205? And now he's like this yoked, like massive muscle. And it didn't work out for him. He's still going out there and getting his ass shaved, which is good to know that some things never change, because, I mean, like if Vinicius Moreira went out there and started like killing dudes at heavyweight, I'd have to like question, everything that I thought going forward, so I don't know who's going to win this fight, man. Like Saracom probably does have some takedown upside, and I think his striking is on par with Tanner. But we're talking about 2 different levels of opposition faced here. So it's a tricky one, man. It's a high variance fight. It's probably something I'm not going to have any money on.
No, I mean, there's no need. There's no need to have any money on this fight. I would say it doesn't get any worse than this, but we're going to talk about Julian Leblanc, I think, next fight,
we are.
He's worse than both these guys.
Crafty striker.
Yeah, God.
He's a southpaw, Brady. Southpaw.
God. Oh, my goodness.
That can pose problems.
Oh, jeez. Sorry, Sham opened up minus 200. He's currently minus 155. Bozer opened up plus 170. Currently plus 135. I feel like it's 2020 again. We got Bozer back in here. Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Not a lot of guys run through Bozer. Now, I remember Iwan Kutalaba finished him, and I remember somebody else, I think, had a pretty dominant performance against him, but he's had some close fights that could have went his way, too, like against Nasamento. Who else?
Arlovsky.
Yeah, the Arlovsky fight. Everybody thought that he won that fight, and he got robbed there. So, like, the guy could be 7-3 in the UFC, and you'd be saying to yourself, hey, that's not too bad. The performance against Alexa Kamer was solid. I thought he won potentially all 3 rounds of that fight. And he almost got him out of there in the second. Like, he's a sneaky finisher, too. The guy's got more power than people think he does.
He's a marauder.
He's a marauder, Brady.
Yeah. They have a couple marauders on this. I mean, not Melissa Mullins. Croin.
She's a marauder. Yeah.
The definition of a marauder.
Yeah. Marcio Barbosa. That dude is a marauder. Get ready to get walked down. Have fun fighting that dude.
Even Jasmine's got some marauding in her. Yeah,
she does.
That. Yeah.
She does. Yeah.
There we go, guys. 84. Let's get 100. Let's get 100. If you're not going to do it for us, do it for Tanner Bozer. Welcome back to the UFC, Tanner Bozer. Bozer is dog crap. Oh, come on.
He is not. He's a good striker. Good leg kicks. Good
Wheezy just biased against the Turk. Yeah, I might be biased against the Turks, Wheezy.
It's us Greeks, like we've got history with the Turks. You got to understand it, you guys. There's 400 years that the Ottoman Empire treated my people like slaves, and a lot of Greeks have long memories, man. They hold grudges, like like my dad always told me. He said, "Son, you can always tell a Greek, just not too much," and he was right about that.
There we go.
Yeah,
wise words.
Yes.
Bozer's last fight was something in the Moreira fight. We got to get Vinicius Moreira back in the UFC. He'll give us some violence.
I want to see him like hang him up on a hook and just like kind of bring him around the cage like a moving heavy bag, because that's exactly what he was against Bozer. I mean, if you guys need a good laugh, if you've had a rough day, you got to go watch Tanner Bozer beat 7 shades of shit out of Moreira in rounds 2 and 3. I promise you're going to laugh your ass off.
I mean, go watch any Moreira fight. It'll cheer you up, quite frankly.
Watch Ike Villanueva just mop the floor with him,
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. These two should beg Josh Hogan for forgiveness. Yeah, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Babysit Nurmagomedov was on the fight, doesn't go the distance. I don't know who. I looked up Babysit Nurmagomedov and nothing's showing up to Bookie, man. I gotta figure this out. R.I.P. Leblanc. Oh gosh, we'll talk about Leblanc.
He's coming up next.
Yeah, they're cutting Gilton, but they're bringing in Tanner Bozer and Gokan. Why?
Merrick Bulow got signed.
Oh my god! Well, he got cut after one fight.
Yeah, but he got signed.
He did get signed.
They did sign that guy. I laid 3 units against that guy on Denzel Freeman.
Oh god!
You can tell when they sign somebody, and you're like, "Come on, man! What was Sean Shelby doing? What is this guy doing? Peyote? Like, how are you signing some of these dudes, man? Like, what are they thinking?"
I don't know. I really don't know what they're thinking, and this is another one that kind of surprises me. This signing here. It's Julian Leblanc going against Robert Valentine. We got Leblanc, 34 years old, 6'2". Valentine, 31 years old, 6'2" with a 79-inch reach. Valentine, 3 years younger. Got the same height there. Leblanc is 5-0 in his last 5 fights, making his debut here. As far as Valentine, he's 2-3 in his last 5 fights. A knockout loss to Ryan Loder. Decision loss to Torres Finney. Knockout loss to Ateba Godier. I wish I would have taped this one sooner, Weezy. I think this was one of the last fights I taped. I kind of held off taping Leblanc and Gokan and Siraj. So I kind of taped those guys last. But yeah, if I would have taped this fight sooner, I would have been on Robert Valentine at plus 125. But now he's minus 135. I mean, that's a big line movement. Plus 125 to minus 135, like in the span of like 24 or so hours. And the reason is because, my gosh, Leblanc he's so bad. Like, I don't know what he's good at. I've watched a few of his fights, and it's like, I don't know what he's good at, Weezy. Like, he's kind of a marauder a little bit, but I don't think his striking's that great. I don't think his wrestling's that great. I think he's very hittable. I don't think his cardio's that great. I think Robert Valentine might get his first win in the UFC. The problem is now we got a late chalk on Robert Valentine. At plus money, I could have maybe stomached it a little bit, but now we got a late chalk on the guy. So this is a fight I probably won't be touching, but I think whoever got in on Robert Valentine at plus 120, I think they did a great job, Weezy. But that plus money dried up quickly, and now money's continuing to pour in on Robert Valentine. So give me Valentine here for the win. Probably finishes, and I was looking at the inside the distance for Valentine, Weezy. So his money line's minus 135. His inside the distance is minus 110. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. But we'll see. Maybe something will stick out throughout the week. But Valentine, I think, gets his first UFC win, Weezy.
Yeah, he might, man. I mean, he was close there for a second against Ryan Loder, and the fight against Torres Finney was close as well. But the performance against Gauthier showed that this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing out there. 0 takedown attempts against that statue. You're going to sit there and just, what was his game plan? Sit there and go like this while you're getting nuked in the face and eventually wind up iced, on the canvas.
Didn't he say, come on, come on?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did several times. Yeah, and Ateba was like, okay. And he just kept nuking him. So, I'm glad that he's taken a little bit of time off. About 9 months since getting hit by that dude is about right. But let's face it, man. I mean, like, this guy desperately needs a win. He's 0-3 in the UFC, and even if he gets a win, it better be really great. Otherwise, he's getting cut. Yeah. His performances have just been not great, and it just goes to show you, man, like, sometimes you beat these European guys and it just doesn't mean shit, because that's what Valentine did in the house. He ran through Yannis Bakar from Greece, and then he beat Paddy McCrory from Ireland, and he looked great in both of those fights. He nuked Bakar in like less than 10 seconds with a step and elbow. He gets a beautiful judo throw against Paddy McCrory and submits him on the mat, almost immediately afterwards. And then he's a -140 favorite against Ryan Loder. And I had 3 units against him. I thought he was going to nuke that dude. Loder's got some of the worst distance striking I've ever seen. His defense is non-existent. I'm like, man, as long as he can keep this guy off of him, he should be easily win this fight. And he's not good, man. This guy's 10-6 as a pro. I mean, that's a horseshit record, and he doesn't really have a lot of great wins on his resume. So maybe Julian Leblanc can get a win here, because at least he's got some decent striking. He's got some decent size for the division. He's like a kung fu type stylist, like a bladed stance, a lot of kicks, a lot of body kicks, head kicks. But most of these guys have just been walking him down, getting into his kitchen, and he hasn't been able to do much about it from the tape that I saw. I saw him fight that Rohovic, which was, it was a pretty one-sided fight because that guy Rohovic took the fight on like less than a week's notice. The Darian Weeks fight, he lost every minute of that fight up until he landed a knee at the end of the 3rd round, which won him the fight on a doctor's stoppage. Got a 2nd-round knockout win over Mark the Alabama Hammer Colker. Hey. And they're not just handing those out at the 5 and dime. You got to work to get a win over the Alabama Hammer. And he did. A 2nd-round knockout. He looked all right there, but I haven't seen any of the other fights. I mean, if I lost money on this fight, it would be one of those hard looks in the mirror that I'm just not. I don't want to be taking hard looks in the mirror at my age, Brady. I want to make better decisions so I don't have to take those hard looks in the mirror with tears running down my face, asking myself about the decisions that I make, because, it's not something you want to be doing at my age.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would have loved to get Valentine at plus money, but he's -135 now, and I think that's going to keep getting worse once people start watching how bad LeBlanc is. I mean, we could see Valentine as like an even bigger favorite, which is terrifying. But yeah. At this point, I got to pass. I missed the line by so much, and then it's like, okay, maybe take a shot at the inside the distance. It's -110. Like, what?
That's disgusting, dude. I mean, like, LeBlanc's never been finished as a pro, and
oh my God.
Valentine's finished 9 of his 10 wins, but against who?
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
I don't know, man. Like, that's like, well, what's Valentine by decision then?
Oh gosh, plus 600.
Maybe that's the way to play the Valentine. I don't know, man.
Oh goodness.
I shouldn't even know what the props are priced at for this fight, because I don't want to know.
Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Look at these fine gentlemen. What's up, lazy bed?
Yes.
LeBlanc is 5-0 versus some Campbell's. Campbell's soup is tough though. It's very tough. Ever held a can of Campbell soup?
Oh yeah. I mean, like, you throw that at somebody's head full speed, you're going to open a cut on their head. I promise you.
Valentine's still value. Maybe, I mean, when it's all said and done, it could look value. I don't think I've seen a fighter worse than Julian LeBlanc, but at the same time, Valentine's 0-3 in the UFC, so it's like, he's not much better. I don't know. The thought of Valentine winning a UFC fight is still hilarious. It really is. Valentine has negative -1,000 fight IQ. That is true. This fight's bordering 1-800-GAMBLER. Agreed. Chris is liking some LeBlanc at plus money.
Okay.
The solution liking Valentine. Artem saying stylistically a nightmare matchup for LeBlanc if Robert has any fight IQ at all. Yeah, fight IQ test. Fight IQ test. Valentine is on. Hopefully, he's not on the same drugs that Nick Landwehr has taken over the weekend. I
Yeah,
don't know what Nate
special
Landwehr.
K. I think it was in a K hole. I really do. That's that vacant stare. You know, you can't move, but you can see everything.
Yeah.
Not fun.
JJ Aldrich will destroy. Sorry to laugh. It's just hard to imagine Aldrich destroying anybody outside of Liang Na. I'll give her that. Aldrich did destroy Liang Na, but I could see Aldrich winning like a split decision. I think that fight's going to be close.
Yeah, probably.
How come the Apex card next week is better than a road show? Yeah, what is doesn't the next Apex card is a Law Sterling next week?
Zalal Sterling, yeah, I did the stats package for that one. It's not half bad. There's a lot of veterans on the card, actually. I think I only had to add 2 fighters to the database.
Yeah. Do you want to hear something disgusting?
What's that?
So I remember I was going on a vacation last year, long drive to Myrtle Beach. So it was like a 10-hour drive.
Yeah.
And then some lines dropped, and there was a line that was so wrong. I had to actually stop at a gas station and place the bet. It was Jackson McVeigh at like plus 140.
I remember.
Loss. I put like 2 units on him. Guess what, Jackson?
3 units.
How much you get? 3 units?
I had 3 units, I think, at the same plus 140. And I remember when that fight got called off, I almost put my fist through a damn wall. I was already counting my money. I'm like, oh my God. Dumas was just in jail a week before.
He was training in a dog crate for the camp.
I know. He was a month removed from being in a dog crate.
I know.
And then I was gonna get Jackson McVeigh at plus money. Oh my God, it would have been sweet.
So we had 5 units combined on him. So guess what? Guess what McVeigh is this time around? Guess
I think it's like almost minus 200, isn't it?
Minus 200. Which at that point, no, you can't.
I know, no, you're not lying. No, you're not lying that on Jackson McVeigh. We still got a lot to learn about Jackson, but he needs to get back to the regional scene and get some better opponents.
Yeah,
work on the conditioning and minute winning, because he's an explosive moment winner. He's got good clinch game. He's got good Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but he's got to get better. Agreed.
So that's crazy. When I saw that, the guys LeBlanc fought, couldn't bust a grape. And grapes are easy to bust open. So this fight is 100 gambler at this point. Valentine as a favorite is scary. It's terrifying, dude. At plus money, sure. Valentine is going to close at minus 200. We'll see. I don't know if people are going to be really running to the window to bet him at like minus 130, minus 150, but we'll see. Really hate this card for gambling. A couple spots are sticking out. Valentine sub, potentially it's plus 200. Put that soup in a sock. Oh, that's a dangerous weapon right there.
Sock full of nickels. One of my favorites.
JJ split is plus 1,300. Okay, I kind of feel like that's how she wins. JJ destroys your bank account if you bet on her. Oh, come on. We got Gail with a 149 dono. Appreciate you, Gail. Oh. Thank you for supporting the show. Yes, sir. 70% of this card is 1-800-GAMBLER. Yeah, we've touched on a couple already. Let's see if this next fight is 1-800-GAMBLER. I don't know. I'm actually looking forward to this one, Weezy. It's Marcio Barbosa going against Dennis Bazookia. We got Bazookia, 28 years old, 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. Barbosa, 27 years old, 5'6" with a 70-inch reach. Barbosa 1 year younger. Bazookia with a 3-inch height advantage. Same reach there between the two. Bazookia is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Sean Woodson. Knockout loss to Jamal Emmers. Knockout win against Connor Matthews. Decision loss to Francis Marshall. As far as Barbosa, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He had a nasty knockout win on the Contender Series against Damon Wilson. So, yeah, this guy, Barbosa, he is a marauder, and he is a marauder with vicious power. Kind of reminds me of a guy we saw a couple weeks ago, Larian Douglas. This guy has so much power, Weezy. He puts 120% into all his shots. He'll mix it up to the body. He'll go up top. He'll march you down, and he'll try to kill you in the first round. The interesting thing about Barbosa is I believe all of his wins, I think either 16 or 17 of his wins come by knockout in the first round. I think 16 of his knockout wins come in the first round. He also fought Gabriel Santos. And if you go back and watch that Santos fight, he was very close to knocking out Santos in the first round, and then he got caught in the second. This is how the fight's going to play out, Weezy. Barbosa just going to walk this guy down. He's going to walk down Bazookia. He's going to show him absolutely no respect. he's probably going to knock him out. Bazookia's a tough dude, but he's extremely hittable, sub 50% strike and defense. I think Barbosa probably knocks him out in the first round. If he doesn't, then it probably gets interesting. But Weezy, we have the biggest favorite on the card here. Barbosa sitting as a minus 145 favorite. The under is completely juiced to the tits. And I think there's a good reason for that. When Barbosa is winning fights, he's winning them by first round knockout. What are your thoughts on this fight, Weezy? I'm really looking forward to the debut of Marcio Barbosa.
Me too, man. I love guys that fight like this, dude. They just make you fight them. There's no choice but to be in the phone booth just swinging for your life against a guy like this, because he's going to walk you down. If you try to move laterally, he's really good at cutting off the cage and staying in front of you. And he's good at, like either bringing you back into where he wants you to be or landing strikes in the direction that you're already going. So this guy Barbosa is a true finisher. Only one fight out of 19 has seen the scorecards for this guy. And you could tell by the way that he fights. And if you look at the stats there for average fight time, 3.7 minutes is this guy's average fight time over 19 professional fights. So Marcio Barbosa might be one of these type of guys that plays like a Terrence McKinney, in that he's just walking you down like the Terminator. And when you do that, you're never going to be good defensively, so you're going to be opening up your opponent's abilities to be able to land something big on you where maybe you don't see it coming because it's a well-timed counter. And a guy like Bazookia is going to, he's going to fight you. He's going to meet you in the middle. He's not going to really run away from you. So the under 1.5 rounds here, juiced to the tits, Brady, at minus 160. So they're telling you this thing finishes under 1.5 rounds over 60% of the time. And it's because Barbosa, I believe in his career, has only been over 1.5 rounds once, just like Terrence McKinney. So I think it's going to be somebody getting served early, and most likely that somebody is going to be Dennis Bazookia. But this is going to be a hell of a fight, because we need more guys like this, more guys that are just, they don't really seem to care if they get clipped. They don't really seem to care if they get hit. They really trust their power and their durability and their heart, and they go after their opponents. And yeah, this guy Barbosa was a big favorite over Santos in LFA when they fought. He's been a very good prospect that's been on the doorstep of the UFC for probably the past 3 or 4 years of his career. So it's finally good to see him get that shot on Dana White's Contender Series, treat his opponent like people expected him to. And now he's getting one of the lower level featherweights on the roster right now in Bazookia to continue that winning streak, which right now I believe is at Marcio Barbosa's winning streak is 4 wins. It's pretty good, man. And the last loss was to Santos. And before that, I think was on a big winning streak going into that Santos fight.
Yeah, man, this guy's the real deal. The only question is, what happens if he doesn't get that knockout, right? That's the big question. But yeah, biggest favorite on the card. He opened up minus 250, currently minus 455. Bazookia opened up plus 210, currently plus 355. The under juiced to the tets at minus 160 for the under 1.5. And this guy's so terrifying, Weezy, that they're terrified to put out props. This is the only fight on the board that they do not have props out on. But I'm assuming Bazookia or Barbosa by KO is going to be what, minus 250, best case scenario.
What's he on the money line?
Like minus 455.
Yeah, dude, he might even be like minus 300, minus 350. So especially when you consider that the under 1.5 is minus 160. So you're probably looking at a minus 600 fight doesn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it might be minus 300, minus 400 for his inside the distance prop.
Well, I have a question for you or the chat if you don't know. Has Marcio Barbosa been at Extreme Couture lately? Is he training anywhere near Extreme Couture?
Not that I know of, man. That would be very interesting. But I think Bazookia might, or no, not Bazookia, because he was with Longo Weidman, but I think he's now at the other Vegas camp. What is it called? Syndicate, John Woods camp.
Okay, so no Extreme Couture involvement in this fight, right?
Not that I know of, because Marcio Barbosa part of Giants team in Brazil.
Okay, so we're going under then. We're going under.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Barbosa's Brazilian Terrence McKinney.
Yeah.
Low key. I think he's been finished. Barbosa in both his losses, right? I know Santos finished him. I don't know when the other loss was, but I think he's been finished in both of his losses. So yeah, he could be the Brazilian Terrence McKinney. Bazookia is going to get piped. He might, man. I mean, Jamal Emmers piped Bazookia on site. Wheezy. Jamal Emmers.
Yeah, and that was one of the spots I lost on a finish only because Jamal Emmers hadn't finished a fight in forever when he knocked out Bazookia, and Bazookia was known for being very durable.
I remember that card because I remember, and then who else got? And then I think Jared Gordon finished Mark Madsen. I had the finish only on Mark Madsen.
I got rinsed on that card, dude. Like so bad, man. That it started off with the Bazookia piping, and it just fell apart like a Chinese motorcycle from there. It was brutal.
Yeah, I remember that card. You're like, dude, I'm already down like 5 units. I'm like, what? It's only been 2 fights. No. Oh God,
you're so bad, dude.
Barbosa possible piping of the week. Uncle Weezy said it perfectly. The guy is a Terminator. Great movie, by the way. Yeah, he's a Terminator, man. And we'll let you guys vote on the piping of the week towards the end of the show. He's definitely going to be a nominee. Marcio Barbosa, 100% piping of the week. Yeah. We got Yes Freak checking in. What is up? Scottsdale, Arizona treadmill team has arrived. There we go. Always a big fan of the treadmill team. He has never been near extreme. Good. We're going under then. We are going under. What are the chances that Cub Swanson against Nate was fixed? I don't know, man. A lot of people are saying it was fixed. I don't know if it was fixed or if Nate Lambert just showed up on drugs. One of the two.
I mean, I loved Swanson in that spot. So, I mean, like, that was kind of like not quite that one-sided, but it was how I saw the fight playing out. So, I just think people think that Cub being 42 was washed. But if you looked into the trends prior to that fight, Cub had been fighting at a way higher level going into that fight than Nate had. So, that was how I expected it to play out. So, I don't think it was fixed, but I think the people that bet on Nate were like, what was that?
I mean, I made almost 5 units on the fight. I kind of think it was a little fixed, to be honest. But, I mean, did you expect Lambert to not throw a single strike, though? I don't know. It just wasn't. He just didn't look like himself. I thought the train was on the rails a little bit. But, yeah, I think he was on some type of drug. Maybe LSD or something. But I don't know. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We got an intriguing fight here, Weezy. We got Thiago Moises going against Gage Young. We got Moises, 31 years old, 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. Gage Young, 25 years old, 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. We got Young, 6 years younger. We got same height and we got same reach. Thiago Moises is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. A knockout loss to BSD, a knockout win against Mitch Ramirez, a decision loss to Ludovic Klein, a decision win against Trey Ogden, and then a knockout loss to Jared Gordon. As far as Gage Young, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He lost to Quillen Salkild on the Contender Series, made his debut against Evan Elder, lost that fight by decision, and then beat Mahashate by decision his last fight out. So, yeah, Thiago Moises is one of these guys that is just extremely inconsistent. And I've always liked Moises. I've always said good things about him. He's training at American Top Team. He's getting that South Florida sun. So I don't know why he's so inconsistent. With when you're getting that much sun in South Florida, you think there'd be a little bit more consistency, but there's not. He's trading off wins and losses, but he's beating the guys he should be. When he takes steps down, he's beating these guys and looking pretty good. I think his striking is very underrated. He has nasty leg kicks, and he has phenomenal Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and his wrestling's not half bad. I mean, Moises, if Moises could be more consistent and kind of put it all together, he could be a very good fighter. It's like some fights he looks incredible. Some fights he looks like a phenomenal prospect, Wheezy. And then in some fights, Moises looks like one of the worst guys on the roster. It's like, pick a side, Thiago. Are you good or are you very bad? I don't know. But this is one of the matchups that he's typically winning. Like a guy like Gage Young, who can be taken down, absolutely can be taken down. So I kind of think Moises is a very live dog here. The problem is trusting Thiago Moises. He's just so inconsistent. What are your thoughts on this matchup, Wheezy?
This is a huge step up in competition for Gage Young. And as somebody who is considering placing a bet on Mahashate against this guy at plus 130. I feel like I'll be really mad at myself if I pass on the opportunity to get Moises around to pick him against a completely unproven fighter in Gage Young. Let's face it. This guy fought in FAC on the regional scene against some really low-level competition. He lost his Dana White Contender Series fight against a phenomenal fighter in Salkild. Goes back to the regional scene, beats something called Eric Grant, loses to Evan Elder, and then goes all the way to China and beats Mahashate, which I think is pretty impressive. Like, I remember after he won that fight, I was like, damn, man, I didn't think Gage Young was necessarily UFC material, but if you're going to fly all the way to China and beat the hometown fighter, I think that's impressive. So, and Mahashate actually has a win over Steve Garcia, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you like that, dude? Like, guys like 2-5 in the UFC, and he beat Garcia. It's crazy. But yeah, I think Gage Young has a ton to prove, just a ton to prove. And I think Moises is obviously the better grappler. He's obviously the more experienced fighter at the UFC level, and overall, he's ranked 22 out of 100 in my strength to schedule rankings, while Gage Young is ranked 74th. So when there are these big steps up in competition, it can be a little bit tricky because people will be like, Moises, he's trading wins and losses. Well, so what? So is Gage Young. And who are his wins against? Josh Tully? Who the hell is Josh Tully? Eric Grant, Mahashate, Hayes Sayer.
Oh, God.
Like Thiago Moises is minus 300 against any of those guys. He's probably minus 1,000 against guys like Eric Grant and Josh Tully. So I think this is a Moises spot. I think it's a solid bet. He might look lousy, but you know what? Anybody that you bet on can go out there and look lousy. Yuri Prohaska is one of the best fighters in the UFC. He went out there and made a gigantic mistake and looked like a moron on Saturday. It can happen to anybody, and sometimes you're going to look stupid. But I think that the chance of looking stupid is betting on Gage Young to walk 50 rungs up the ladder from Mahashate to Thiago Moises and think that, this guy's gonna beat Thiago. It might be a bridge too far for me.
Yeah, it could be. I think violence here could be sneaky. Moises, obviously, if he gets the fight down to the ground, gets to the back, could find a choke. And is Moises' chin okay? Like, he got sparked by Jared Gordon. Like, that's
dude. And Gage Young's super aggressive and hits hard, so I like that.
That's probably why the line's where it's at, just because that was a very bad look.
Yeah,
but maybe violence could be sneaky here potentially. But yeah, there's kind of 3 dogs that I liked on this card, but 2 are no longer dogs. I liked John Castaneda. I would have loved him at plus 120. He's now minus 120. I would have loved Robert Valentine at plus 120. He's now minus 135. This is the last dog that I kind of like. I don't know how much longer Moises is going to be a dog, but he's plus 100. So barely a dog. Barely. It's approaching a pick'em. So I don't know. We'll see where the line goes, but I agree 100%. I think it's a solid spot here for Moises potentially. The problem is I've bet on him before, and he's just so inconsistent. Like, I'll never forget forget which fight it was. I remember betting on him and just being like, what the hell, dude? What the hell, Thiago? What are you doing? What are you doing out there? So I don't know. I don't know if I'll touch it, but I agree. Cubs retirement was amazing. It was amazing. There's been some amazing retirements lately. Michael Chiesa, Eric Anders, retirement fighters. They're having a lot of success lately, Weezy. I like to see it. I absolutely like to see it. Looking forward to learning more about Gage in this one. Me too. Yeah. Moises is 31 years old. It feels like he's like 36, but yeah, he's only 31 years old.
Yeah.
Moises is one of the oldest young fighters ever. Yeah, I was checking out. He has like gray hair. Looks like a little bit.
Well, he turned pro at the age of 16, it looks like. Maybe just turned 17. He's been doing this almost half of his life.
Yeah.
That's a hard job.
He's starting to get some gray in his hair. So, yeah. Free Dumas. Oh, did he get locked up again? Dang it.
Damn it.
Dang it. Free D-Rod. D-Rod was in, where was the time? Where was he at? In Mexico?
Yeah, he was in Tijuana. He was in a Tijuana prison, evidently.
He's out, though. Good. He's
I
out.
mean, what do you have to do in Tijuana to get thrown in prison?
I don't know. I don't know.
I would imagine it's like more than you have to do in the suburbs, for instance. Like
Yeah.
it just seems like, wow, like you got to be on another level to not just like party hard in Tijuana, but if you're getting arrested there, you're working hard.
Like, that's such a massive story, and like nobody's talking about it. Like, D-Rod was just locked up the past year. nobody's doing where's the media on this? I mean, it feels like a big story to me.
Well,
So we don't
like his camp was covering for him though, dude. They said he was backpacking in Peru.
Oh my gosh.
Which was always my code for I'm about to go on like a week-long bender. You guys aren't going to hear from me, and I tell my parents, I'm going to be backpacking in Peru for the next week, so you're not going to be able to get a hold of me. The cell phones, like it's just not good out there. So I'll be back later.
Yeah, no signups yet on Underdog, but we do have 106 likes. So appreciate you guys for liking this show. It does go a long way and does help out. Here we went from let's go for that to let's not go for that. Yeah, he did, man. I still can't believe it. I'm still in shock. Joel Alvarez absolutely piked him. He piked him on sight. That was the fight where he was spamming the body kicks. It just beat him down. Yeah, that was bad. That was very bad. Consistently inconsistent. Yep. He is, man. Sometimes he looks pretty dang good. I'm like, wow. And then sometimes it's like, what the heck was that, Tiago? What was that? I don't know what we're going to get. If I didn't know who D-Rod was and you told me the prison story and just saw one picture of him, I'd go, yep. Well, D-Rod's been to prison a ton. I think he's undefeated still in prison fights as far as I'm concerned. I think he's had like 100 prison fights. He's undefeated.
That's what he said, yeah.
What?
The snowflake, No,
I was reading a different comment.
Oh, okay.
Yes, go easy, go. All right, let's move on. Yeah, kind of like a lightweight Kevin Holland, kind of. No, but nobody's as bad as Kevin Holland though in terms of inconsistency. All right, moving on to the next fight. We got a good one here. We got Jasmine Jasudavicius going against Karina Silva. We got Jasudavicius, 37 years old, 5'7" with a 68-inch reach. Silva, 32 years old, 5'5" with a 67-inch reach. Silva, 5 years younger. Jasmine with a 2-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Jasmine is 4-1 in her last 5 fights. Decision win against Fatima Klein. Submission win against Ariana De Silva. Decision win against Mara Bueno Silva. Submission win against Jessica Andrade. And then a knockout loss to Manon Fiorot. As far as Karina Silva, 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Submission win against Marina Moroz. Decision win against Ariana Lipsky. Decision loss to Vivian Araujo. A decision win against Diana Barbosa. And then a decision loss to Macy Barber. So yeah, when we're talking Canadian fighters, I think Jasmine's probably my favorite. I love her style. Like, she's the definition of a marauder. She's going to come forward. She's going to use her size, her strength, her physicality. She's going to take you down. And what I like about Jasmine, and when she's on top of you, she's not just going to lay and pray, right? She's going to destroy you with punches and elbows until you give up a choke. I'm surprised she hasn't had a TKO win yet in the UFC. I think she has 3 sub wins, but some TKOs will be coming. I mean, her ground and pound is absolutely vicious and nasty, but she got caught badly in her last fight against Manon Fiorot. I couldn't believe that. I didn't have a bet on that fight, but if you told me, Manon Fiorot was going to knock her out in the first round, I would say absolutely not. But it happened, and it was brutal. So, and I've always been worried about not the chin of Jasmine. She has a phenomenal chin, but the strike and defense. She's very, very hittable. She relies on her chin, and it finally got caught or cracked against Manon Fiorot. But I feel like this matchup stylistically, it's a great matchup for Jasmine. I mean, Karina Silva can be taken down by a gust of wind. I think her takedown defense is like 20% or something horrible like that. Karina Silva does not stuff a takedown. She's actually comfortable on her back, Weezy, but I don't think she's going to be comfortable when Jasmine is pounding her head through the canvas with elbows. I think, Jasmine's going to make her pay here, but Karina is very dangerous on the ground. She has good front chokes. She can throw up arm bars. If Jasmine's not careful, she could get caught in something, but I think Jasmine is going to get on top here pretty easily. On the feet, Karina Silva does have a lot of power, so I don't think Jasmine's going to really want to mess around, especially after getting caught in her last fight. So I think Jasmine should go out there, get this fight down to the ground, and do some work here against Karina Silva. I don't think Silva has the best cardio. She slows down in every single fight that gets extended. I think if Silva's winning this fight, she's probably catching Jasmine in something, but I lean Jasmine to get it done. Only problem is Jasmine's like minus 300 here, which is kind of scary, but I kind of get it to a degree. What are your thoughts on this fight, Weezy?
Yeah, it's scary when she's coming off a KO loss because you just don't like to see any women getting KO'd. It really is a harbinger of more KOs to come because, most women don't have KO power. And you know what? Frankly, Manon Fiorot doesn't. We've seen it over and over again at the UFC level. She's not even hurting people that aren't named Tabitha Ricci and didn't take a fight on less than a week's notice up a weight class. So that was kind of weird. And we already knew that Jasmine's distance striking was going to be below average as is her distance striking defense. So, yeah, I think both fighters are going to be dangerous here because I think Jasmine probably has to wrestle, which means that you're going to be, give Karine Silva chances to grapple. And she's very aggressive with her submission attack. So, yeah, I could see Jasmine finding a ground and pound knockout, a submission. I could see Karine finding a submission. Jasmine coming off a KO loss, and Karine's got power. So I could see multiple paths to a finish here. Who wins? Probably Jasmine. And I mean, what's crazy is that I might bet the fight doesn't go here, Brady, but my pick will probably be Jasmine by decision just because I see her getting takedowns, avoiding submissions, and winning on points. But like somebody like Karina that's that aggressive with their submissions, it's probably going to be hard to be landing a lot of serious ground and pound against somebody like that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm guessing Jazz Davicius by decision, but at plus 200 for fight doesn't go, that feels like it's got some meat on the bone. And stylistically, I think you're getting a few different paths to a finish here.
Yeah, I mean that line just stuck out to me like a sore thumb. Like there's 4 different ways the fight could finish, literally 4 different ways. So yeah, I don't mind it. But yeah, I like Jasmine here to get it done, and I think she could potentially break Silva 2-3 as well. Jasmine 2-3 props. They're always money outside of the Andrade fight. She didn't wait till the round 2 or round 3 in that fight. She submitted in round 1. It's like, come on, Jasmine, come on.
Yeah.
And then I had KO. Oh my gosh, I had KO 2-3 for Jasmine against Priscilla Cachoeira. I mean, that fight should have been stopped 50 different times. It was like plus 2,000 for KO 2, plus 3,000 for KO 3, and then she submits her. It's like really crazy. But yeah, Jasmine
Darce choke. Yep.
Jasmine 2-3 could be interesting as well. D-Rod was framed. Oh gosh.
Damn.
Who was piping who? Well, we're gonna find out in a little bit. Milk so much there could potentially be some milk in this matchup. People liking the potential milking here from Jasmine, and she's milked many ladies. Jasmine won't let Silva breathe. No, she's gonna make her pay. Milk, it does the body good. Yes, it does. Get these men to 150 likes. Agreed. Who loves steak more, Montes, Reyes, or Walker, or Gas? So definitely Reyes Walker. They definitely like steak.
Gas don't like steak tacos.
Yes, absolutely. Milk, it does the body good. So does a Jasmine Jazz Davicius money line and over 1.5. Yeah, that's probably how she wins. That's probably a good way to attack it there. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be Mendel Nalo going against Jai Herbert. We got Nalo, 36 years old, 6 foot with a 75-inch reach. Jai Herbert, 37 years old, 6'1", with a 77-inch reach. We got Nalo 1 year younger. Herbert with a 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Nalo is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He had a knockout win on the Contender Series in the very first round. As far as Jai Herbert, he is 2-1 draw in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Kyle Nelson. A draw against Ludovic Klein. A decision loss to Farah Zion. A decision win against Rolando Bedoya. And then a decision loss to Chris Padilla. So this is kind of stupid matchmaking, in my opinion, Weezy, because we have a very exciting fighter in Mendel Nalo. I mean, this guy, they called him Rat Garbage. I guess he switched his nickname for some reason, but it was a phenomenal nickname. And he has a phenomenal, fun fighting style. Like, he's not going to be like a top 15, top 10 guy, but he's going to be, one of my top 15, top 10 guys because he's exciting. He wants to go in there. He wants to take your head off. He's going to be fun. He's not going to be in a boring fight, right? Nalo's awesome. And then you're giving him the complete opposite in Jai Herbert, who's not awesome, who's not in fun fights, who's in some of the worst fights you'll ever see. Like, it's so bad. And I have a fetish, Wheezy, of losing finish props on Jai Herbert fights. And I've done it so much because this guy used to be kill or be killed. He used to have a like 100% finish rate in his wins and losses, but now it looks like he's terrified to go out there and get into these wars, and he doesn't really want to go out there and stand and bang anymore. He wants to kind of point fight for 15 minutes and do as little as possible. So I think the matchmaking here is absolute trash. I mean, give Nalo somebody fun that's going to want to fight him. I hope Nalo takes his head off, dude. I think he's super hittable. He's super chinny. I hope Nalo doesn't play Herbert's stupid game of doing nothing, comes forward and knocks him out in the first round. But the problem with Nalo is all of his wins come under 1.5 rounds. 14 wins in the first round and a half. If the fight goes over 1.5 rounds, he's lost every single time. So I'm rooting for Nalo. I truly hate Jai Herbert. I think he's a disgrace to the UFC and all the fans. But he's minus 180, Nalo. And I don't think Nalo has the best durability. Nalo's been piped on sight a time or two. Both these guys have. So I think it's going to be a fun fight, Weezy. I hope it's going to be a fun fight. But I've also been wrong about a lot of Jai Herbert fights because a lot of them have just sucked.
Yeah, and I mean, when you are expecting the guy to fight like we were used to seeing him fight, and then losing monies on like these plus money unders that should have never been plus money, and then you watch and it's like, oh my God, this guy has no desire to be here. He is trying to do everything but fight.
Oh, God.
And it's just disgusting. You know, like I hope they get this guy out of the cage on a stretcher, because I don't want to see him up here anymore, man. You know, like, he's boring as hell, and he's done it 5 fucking times in a row, Brady.
Oh,
that
God.
Kyle Nelson fight was dog shit. That Ludovic Klein fight was a draw, dog shit. And I think he only got a draw because he got a point taken away from Ludovic, if I remember correctly there, right?
Yeah, wasn't it? There was the head clash was in the Nelson fight.
Oh, that was in the Nelson fight, but I think there was also something like a point.
Yeah,
taken in the
I think.
fight.
There was.
And then Fares, we knew that the Herbert Fares fight was going to be nothing, because Fares was a guy that wasn't very aggressive, and of course that was terrible. Rolando Bedoya, who's aggressive, so that was fun. But yeah, even the Padilla fight, it's hard to make a Padilla fight boring, but
yeah,
Jai Herbert pulled it off, man. God bless him. So I hope Nalo just goes out there and sparks this dude, and then they send him his walking papers, because watching Jai Herbert fights has been just god awful.
AIDS.
Yeah.
And I'll probably lose money on this one too, Weezy. I'm probably going to bet the under or something in this fight. So
it's under 2.5 too. I kind of expected it to be a 1.5, and I'm like, oh, I guess you can't do that in a Jai Herbert fight.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was 1.5 on Sunday. I think they might have changed it, because I remember
they changed it.
Yeah, I messaged you. I was like, why is it set at 1.5? It's a Jai Herbert fight. And I got pissed off. And now it's at 2.5.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they accidentally set it at minus 160 for the under 1.5, and then immediately moved it to 2.5.
That makes more sense, because I was like, that's like the ass prop of the week.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the over under set at 2.5 rounds, the over 2.5 plus 140, the under 2.5 minus 160. Fight goes plus 160. Fight doesn't go minus 200. Gonna lose some more money on some Jai Herbert violence. Let's go. Under 2.5
on it too, man. Oh God.
Yeah, gotta lay the juice. Under 2.5. Yeah, I mean, it could potentially come through. I don't think Nalo's been over 2.5 rounds ever, so it would be a first, but it is also a Jai Herbert fight. If Herbert doesn't get cartoonishly knocked out, he has a great shot of winning on the scorecards. Yeah, if he can, absolutely. I mean, Nalo's never won a decision. Poor Holland. So, oh gosh, yeah, I couldn't believe Randy Brown did not get tapped out there. That was crazy, absolutely crazy. So crazy that Herbert almost KO'd Ilya. Yeah, he did. It was close.
But he hasn't been the same since that fight, dude. He hasn't tried to fight since that fight.
He's not a fighter. I don't know what he is. What do we call him? He's not. He doesn't even want to be there. Like, why even show up?
Yeah, like if you were a quarterback in football, Brady, we'd call him a game manager.
Yeah,
you know, like don't. We're gonna run the ball. Don't throw any picks. check everything down. You're Eli Manning, and like that's what he is. He's the Eli Manning of the UFC.
Yeah,
144 yards passing, 23 of 26 on his attempts, and they scored 3 points in the game.
Just a bunch of checkdowns all game.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Bunch of third and threes that don't quite get there,
Yeah.
Welcome to Jai Herbert in the UFC.
It's sickening. It's disgusting. We gotta start cutting these guys that don't want to be there. If you don't want to be there, don't show the hell up.
Yeah.
And Jai Herbert hasn't showed the hell up since like 2020. Absolutely ridiculous. Nalo made a fan out of me on Dan. He's extremely exciting. That's why I think this matchmaking is dumb. Give him Terrence McKinney. McKinney didn't take any damage against Kyle Nelson. Why not take Jai Herbert, cut him, and bring in Terrence McKinney into Canada? Imagine how awesome Mendel Nalo, Terrence McKinney is. The UFC needs to hire me as a matchmaker, Weezy. Those are the type of matchups you'd be getting from me. Mendel Nalo, Terrence McKinney. Does it get much better than that? No.
If you were a matchmaker, poor Terrence would be fighting like 11 times a year, dude. He would be dead from CTE by the time he was 35, but we'd be cashing unders like crazy. We'd be on a yacht somewhere by the time that guy was on a hospital bed eating all of his meals out of a straw.
I mean, we'd get Liang Na back in there.
Yeah, we would.
Daniel
De Silva.
Yeah,
he's back. He's back, baby. We're bringing back Fat Barnett and we're bringing back Fat Volante, and they're kicking off every Apex card.
Yes, it was perfect. Jai Herbert versus Justin Gaethje in the White House in an alternate dimension. Oh gosh, he might even make a Justin Gaethje fight boring. I don't know.
Gaethje looking patient, I could just see it, man.
Yeah, that's true. Poor Kyle Nelson. Check the props again for Raposo. You will notice something's off. Let me take a look for the Raposo fight.
Okay.
Go to the props.
65, 800 plus 2,000 for submission.
For Raposo?
Yeah, so they're giving him most of the equity is going to be him by points. They're saying about an 11% chance of a KO, and they're saying about a 5% chance of a submission.
So what's off?
16, and then Raposo at plus 265 would be 641.
Well, you're going to have to help us out.
Yeah, I don't see anything off.
So what's off is Raposo by second round knockout.
Oh, God. Yeah, I hate to inform you. Mitch Raposo would have to throw a punch in order to land a knockout. So
he's very confident. He's very confident.
2,500 there.
And you're going to get a better line on other books for sure. But yeah, he's very confident. So if Raposo knocks out Nasamento, you heard it here first. All right, let's move on to the main event. It is going to be Kyler Phillips going against Charles Jordane. We got Kyler Phillips, 30 years old, 5'8" with a 72-inch reach. We got Charles Jordane, 30 years old, 5'9" with a 69-inch reach. At the same age there, we got Jordane with a 1-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach disadvantage. Kyler Phillips, 3-2 in the last 5 fights. Submission win against Marcelo Rojo. Decision win against Hani Barcelos. Decision win against Pedro Munoz. Decision loss to Rob Font. And a decision loss to Vinicius Oliveira. As far as Charles Jordane, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Ricardo Ramos. Decision loss to Sean Woodson. Knockout loss to Gene Silva. Submission win against Victor Henry. And then a submission win against Davey Grant. So we all know how this fight's going to play out, Weezy, right? I mean, it's pretty clear. Kyler Phillips is going to look incredible. He's going to look incredible in the first round. I mean, this guy is so good. He's a BJJ black belt. He's a phenomenal wrestler. His striking so flashy and fun and exciting. And then once that 6 to 7.5 minute mark hits, everything, like you said, Weezy, what's the saying? Falls apart like a Chinese motorcycle. Every single time, it's so bad. It's so bad that the Font fight was so bad. I mean, that was probably the worst his cardio ever looked in the Font fight. That was horrible. He gassed out after 5 minutes there. Gassed out against Vinicius Oliveira. So yeah, I mean, Phillips is going to win round 1. Jordane's going to win round 3, and it's going to come down to how the crooked, corrupt judges score round 2. I gotta lean Jordane here. Jordane's next level durable. He's gonna have the better cardio by a mile. He might get his ass kicked a little bit for the first round, but I just can't trust Kyler Phillips, in a fight that I think is going to get extended, in a fight where he just slows down way too much. So I lean Jordane here. I think Phillips, if Phillips had cardio, dude, like he could be a top 5 guy, maybe top 3 guy even. I mean, he's that skilled, but he doesn't have cardio, and cardio is very important.
Yeah, it's extremely important if you're not going to find finishes, right, Brady? Because if you're not going to find finishes, you're going to need to win minutes and bank rounds, and you're going to need to do it at least twice. So Phillips really was getting walked down by Rob Font. Vinicius Oliveira is a very similar fighter. He's going to put you on your back foot, and then being on your back foot is just twice as tiring as being on your front foot. Try to walk backwards outside. See how long you make it before you're like, damn, this is tiring. And then think about how long you can walk forward and not even think about it. So maybe Phillips has got some grappling upside here. I mean, I think he's probably got maybe a little more power. I mean, Jordane's fighting up at 145 though most of his career, and he's looked phenomenal since moving down to 135. After fighting Sean Woodson and Gene Silva back-to-back, he's like, I've had enough of this shit. I'm going to start cutting weight. And it's worked for him, man. He's finished his last 3 wins by submission. He's got a nasty guillotine. If you get sloppy shooting a shot against him, he can finish the fight. But I think Kyler's the better fighter. Like, I feel like he's more well-rounded. I feel like he's got more paths to victory. When I look at the striking stats, I see both of these guys pretty active, but in terms of head strike numbers, I favor Phillips. Definitely with the defense at 69%, positive over 1 head strike differential compared to about 0.4 for Jordane. Yeah, I mean, Kyler is probably the better prospect. He's probably got more ways to win the minutes in this fight. And that's one thing about Jordane. He just doesn't win minutes. So even though if you're counting on it, you're just assuming that Charles is going to win rounds 2 and 3, it might not be the case. Dude, in decisions, he's been to 9 decisions. He only won 2 of them, Charles Jordane. That's really bad, man. I mean, the guy is 15-2 to the finish, but he's 2-6-1 to the decision. And he even lost his decision outside the UFC. And in the UFC, he's 2-5-1. So I think Kyler's probably a little bit better than Jordane, but I think maybe Jordane's just got a little bit more finish upside in this fight. It's a wild one. I feel like it should be lined very close, and that's where it is. So I don't know if I'm going to do much with this one.
Yeah, I don't think I will either. I'd say maybe look to live bet Jordane, but they're going to be all over it. That's going to be everybody's look this week. But yeah, Jordane opened up minus 170, currently minus 150. Phillips opened up plus 145, currently plus 130. I'll tell you what, if fights were 7.5 minutes long, I'd be max betting Phillips here.
They're so good in the first half of the fight, man.
Max betting him.
It's the way that he moves in there. Everything that he does is a ton of energy. He's always up on his toes. He's always moving back and forth. He's exploding in and out of range. And everything that he's throwing, he's trying to take your head off. So when you fight like that, it's just not sustainable for a full 15 minutes. So he's got to do, I don't know if it's as much about cardio as it is about managing your gas tank and, finding places to rest, finding places to kind of recuperate and reboot what your game plan is. So I don't think Kyler's really shown the ability to be able to do that yet.
No, I don't think he probably ever will. But I saw an interview with Kyler on X, and he was very angry, like very angry. Like he says he's gonna kill Jordane. It was a very disturbing interview. So maybe he's angry. And who was angry a couple weeks ago, Weezy?
Yeah, that's not a good headspace to be in as a fighter, man.
Trayshawn Gore was angry.
Well, but people were disrespecting Teresian.
And
they were mispronouncing his name. They were bringing up the two division champion comments, like talking about like his losses, So I mean, I think Teresian should have been mad, but I don't know what Kyler's got to be mad about. He should have been a minus 625 favorite. What do you think people were going to say about him?
He was in his car and he was saying, "I'm going to kill him. I'm going to get him." I've never seen somebody so mad before. So I don't know. I don't know about this, but Phillips smokes him at bad match. Like I said, I'd agree if fights were 7.5 minutes, but the fact that it's a 15-minute fight, it makes it a little bit more interesting. Are we still pretending Kyler is good or what? He's phenomenal in the first 7.5 minutes. I'm done with Kyler. Me too. Can Jordane find that gill? It's going to be tough, but Jordane does have a disgusting gilly. But Phillips is a legit black belt. I think I'd be kind of surprised if he gillied Phillips, but you never know. Might be the best fight on the card. Yeah, I would tend to agree. Potential draw. Hasn't Jordane been in a draw before? I think he has.
I'm telling you, Brady, there is some kind of a statistical anomaly. I promise you there's no way that it is explainable with numbers. When you get one draw on your record, the chances that you're going to have a second draw,
it's true.
They go up exponentially, dude. Draws happen about once every 100 fights, right?
Yeah.
But like, how many fighters in the UFC can we name that have 2 draws on their record? There's like 5 or 6 of them, which is super weird, dude. Jimmy Cruz got 2 draws. Marina Rodriguez had 2 draws. Venata, 2 draws. Doesn't Bellato have 2 draws?
He might. There's a lot of no contest and stuff, so maybe a couple draws in there.
There was a fight a couple of weeks ago that should have ended in a draw, and one of the fighters had a draw in it, and I can't remember what it was, but there was a point deduction. But
Blachowicz? Somebody said Blachowicz?
Ricky Simon, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who did Ricky Simon fight?
Yannis.
And Yannis has a draw, right?
I think.
Doesn't he?
Maybe.
So, like, I've seen these things where when you have one draw on your record, for some reason, it happens again. And like I said, I think I can name 4 or 5 UFC fighters with 2 draws on their record. But yet, when you look at the UFC as a whole and you look at what percentage of fighters actually have just 1 draw on their record, it would be like, whoa, why does, like that big of a percentage have 2 draws as compared to the people that have 1? So since Jordane has a draw on his record at the UFC level, I think a draw might hit here.
And a draw makes sense. We could see a Kyler 10-8. We could see a Jordane 10-8 round 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, Kyler might cheat,
Is he a cheater? Is he a cheater? I don't know.
We saw a couple of point deductions last week. Pretty quick triggers, didn't we?
Yeah. So we could get even more draws going forward with these point deductions. They are pulling the trigger pretty quickly.
Yep.
Bellato is due for another draw. Agreed. Feels like a pass or round 3 sub for Jordane. Yeah, Jordane round 3 is always in play for sure. Moreno, not Alex.
Moreno 2 draws. That's right.
Brandon Moreno. Yep.
Yeah.
We got Zero in the building. Love you, boys. Appreciate you, Zero, for stopping by. All right, guys. It is now time for the main event of the evening. Before we get into it, we got to shout out our 2 sponsors. Big shout out to the sponsors. The reason we show up every single week for a couple hours. The first sponsor is going to be Underdog Fantasy. If you go to Underdog Fantasy, use that code DFSBT, and you'll get $50 free. Who the hell does not like free money? It's literally free. You play a $5 lineup, and you get $50 in bonus funds with code DFSBTN. So big ups, Underdog Fantasy, and big ups to the Big Brain Discord. Check it out. Link is in the description. Big ups to Big Steve, doing a ton of great things, a ton of promotions. Go check out the Big Brain Discord. Thank you all so much for being here with us on a Monday. Not the best card in the world, but we're going to show up regardless. I think it's going to be a good card. I truly think it's going to be a good card. But yeah. And this main event's going to be interesting. We got Gilbert Burns going against Mike Malott. We got Gilbert Burns, 39 years old, 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. Mike Malott, 34 years old, 6'1" with a 73-inch reach. Mike Malott, 5 years younger, 3-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Gilbert Burns is 1-4 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Jorge Masvidal. Decision loss to Bilal Muhammad. And a knockout loss to Jack Della Maddalena. Decision loss to Sean Brady. And a knockout loss to Mike Morales. As far as Mike Malott, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Adam Fugit. knockout loss to Neil Magny, decision win against Trevin Giles, Trevin Giles, my bad. A knockout win against Charles Radtke, and then a decision win against Kevin Holland. What I'll say about this fight, Wheezy, I don't think I've ever seen a line move this much like this early in the week. We're talking Gilbert Burns went from plus 425, like I think like Saturday. I think it was like Saturday, 425 Wheezy, down to plus 270. Mike Malott went from minus 600 to minus 330. That's a massive, massive move. Money is pouring in on Gilbert Burns. So for me personally, I will not be betting on this fight. I'm not high on Mike Malott at all. I think he's decent, but some of his fights, it's like, the Neil Magny fight, it just wasn't a great look. He was looking great, but the first time there was any adversity whatsoever, he got finished. But, that's Neil Magny. It's happened to so many people. We can maybe forgive him. The Officer Trevin Giles fight gave me AIDS. Both guys did nothing for 15 minutes, but Mike Malott just did a little bit more, landed some leg kicks there. The Kevin Holland fight gave me AIDS as well, but he beat Kevin Holland. I don't know. I'm just not high on this guy. I think his cardio is suspect. I think his volume's a little bit suspect. His ground game is good. He's black belt, but his takedown defense isn't. He can be taken down, but he does have a lot of power. So I don't know. I'm just not high on Mike Malott. As far as Gilbert Burns, it's like I'm not betting on a 40-year-old guy with questionable durability. I've been saying Burns has had declining durability, I think, for like 5 years. Like, when was the Muhammad Usman fight, Weezy? How long ago was that?
I don't know, but he got knocked out with a jab there.
I know. I went back and watched. I think that fight was like back in 2020 or 2021, and he got knocked down by a jab from Muhammad Usman. Like, I've been saying his durability's in serious question for like 5 years, and now he's 40. So I don't know. I don't want to lay minus 600 on Mike Malott. I don't want to lay minus 300 on Mike Malott, but I also don't really want to be betting Gilbert Burns. I mean, if you got Burns at like what was he, like plus 425? Yeah. I mean, in theory, he should have the better cardio, I guess, but I don't know. Will he? I don't know. Burns' cardio is not great either. So I don't know. Nothing's really sticking out to me on this one, but it looks like the whole world is on Gilbert Burns to pull off a big upset, Weezy.
I mean, and I get it, right? I mean, you look at the last four names, Bilal Muhammad, Jack Della Maddalena, Sean Brady, Michael Morales. These are all guys who have been in the title conversation or have already been champion. And I mean, you look at how many names you can go back on the list to Gilbert Burns. This guy's been fighting top 10 dudes for like the last 7 years. So there's a massive strength of schedule advantage on the Burns side, who's going up against Malott, whose last 5 fights were Kevin Holland. And he beats Kevin Holland. That's a good win.
He did kick him in the dick, though. He did kick him in the
dick. Yeah, I know.
Bad.
That's my
Very
point.
bad.
Like, that wasn't even a real fight. Like, I don't even know what was happening there. Like, if that had happened anywhere but Canada, people would have been like, dude, why are you trying to start this fight up again? This guy got just punted, his nuts punted up into his midsection, and you're forcing him to fight. He clearly doesn't want to fight anymore.
Yeah.
And then the fight winds up going to decision. I cashed a Malott decision ticket there at like plus 330. So winded up being a good thing for me. But the Radtke KO was nice. But the Giles fight, that wasn't great. He won like 14 minutes of the Magny fight and then blew it in the last minute. This guy could easily be 7-0 in the UFC. So he is a good fighter. He's well-rounded, man. He's got really good Brazilian jiu-jitsu. If you try to take him down and wind up in his guillotine, he can finish you with that. If he gets on top of you, he can finish you with an arm triangle, or to get to your back, finish with a rear naked choke. He's got good combinations on the feet, good power, good knockout ability. I mean, he should be able to beat Gilbert Burns, but we still don't know what Mike Malott's ceiling is. And we got to keep in mind that this kid isn't like 29. He's 34, and he's been around the block a few times already, so I don't know what happens if Gilbert gets this dude down. That could be problems, man. Gilbert can win minutes. Even the Jack Della fight, I remember he was winning that fight. He got knocked out at the end of it. What does this line look like if he beats Jack Della there, if he doesn't get clipped in the last minute of that fight? So I get why some of these people are taking a shot on the more experienced guy in Burns that's got a really good ground game. But Gilbert Burns is 39 years old, and he's on a 4-fight losing streak, Brady. So how many times can you think of somebody turning around a situation like that at this level? And you're going to send him on the road to Canada to fight a Canadian who's 5 years younger than him, who's just fought 6 months ago while Gilbert Burns is on an 11-month layoff. They're teeing this up. They're giving Malott a chance to win against a decorated veteran in his home country here. But will he fuck it up? That's the question. I don't know if I want to be on either side of this, though, Brady, because I'm not feeling compelled to have action on this fight either.
Oh, me either. Not at all. And it's not having action in the main event is always, it sucks, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't want to bet on either guy. And then you look at a total and it's like, I mean, this can easily go under if Malott tries, but there's fights where he just doesn't try. Like I felt like in the Giles fight, that was after I felt like he was really trying not to gas out and slow down. He just didn't do anything. Yeah. So this could easily soar over potentially. But I also think Burns' chin is kind of dust. So I think Malott by knockout could be on the table, which is probably a horrible number. Minus 130. Yeah, I don't think I'm betting on this fight. Going with Malott, but I don't know. I'm just waiting to fade Malott. He's aight, but nothing special. That's how I feel. I feel like he's aight. He's aight. Nothing special. Yeah, he's like minus 600, dude. Yeah. Malott was minus 600, which is crazy. I feel like Burns is a good shot here stylistically, but he might also be at the point where he won't ever win another fight. Yeah, true. But this is, let's take a look. I mean, this is going to be Burns' easiest fight in a while. Like Morales, Brady, Jack Della, Bilal, they're all much, much, much tougher matchups than Mike Malott. So I'm picking up what people are putting down. I could see this being a decision. Yeah, me too. I could for sure. Especially if Mike Malott tries to pace himself, 5-round fight. I could absolutely see that. What is the fight goes is plus 375. They did it again. We have a fight that's minus 550 to finish inside the distance. Why are we not betting the fight goes at plus 375?
I know, right? Like this guy Malott after the Magny fight was afraid to get gassed out, so he took Giles to a decision, and I mean, like, Burns is a tricky guy. You don't want to wind up on the ground with this guy. He can finish you, so you never know. And with Malott having that concern about his conditioning, how is he going to handle a 5-round fight? This is the first time we've seen him have a 5-round fight at the UFC level, while we've seen Gilbert Burns do that 5 different times.
Yeah, I feel like Malott can maybe stink up the place a little bit. Maybe slow down the pace a lot, like he did in the Holland fight and Giles fight. Those fights both stunk. Nothing happened. Mike at GSP. Malott. Oh God. Yeah, minus 600 to minus 330 in the span of like a couple days. It's probably going to keep dropping. A lot of people are on Burns, and like I said, I get it to an extent, but I can't bet on a 40-year-old Gilbert Burns personally. I'll be rooting for Mike Malott to get the win on the card in Canada that was literally built around him. I'm Canadian on Saturday. There you go. Gosh, how do you bet on either one of these guys? Shot fighter versus a quitter. I can't.
It's tough.
Maybe Gilbert takes a dive. I don't think Gilbert likes steak though. Malott likes steak, I think though. I don't know. Gilbert the train, Burns maybe. Oh, I got it in Burns a plus 425. Well, guess what? You get to cash that CLV, man, because that's a ton of CLV, and I think you're going to keep getting CLV. Malott's face is so hateable. He's the evil Sage Northcutt. Yeah. Mike Malott should be a slight favorite over Burns, around minus 140, minus 600 to open is plain. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. You can't lay minus 600 on Mike Malott. You just against anybody, let alone Gilbert Burns. Peptides Burns for the win. Another Malott fumble. Okay. Sizable underdogs in the main event have been doing well this year. Yeah. A lot of underdogs in the main event have for sure. All right, guys, we did it. We went through all 13 fights in a solid amount of time. We're not at 3 hours, so that's good. But Weezy's still been on camera for over 5 hours on a Monday. Poor Wheezy. So what we're going to do here, and I'm going to use the new StreamYard feature that I'm excited about. You go to widgets, you go to polls. Oh, and you can do a QR code too. Look at this is StreamYard's up in their game. We're paying you $500 a year. StreamYard's starting to finally up the game. We get QR codes. We get polls. This is awesome. So what we're going to do now, guys, we're going to do the first poll and to vote in the polls for StreamYard. You got to type 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's how you vote on the StreamYard polls. So what was that? What was that?
Uh-oh.
Sergey? I gotta get my crucifix.
Oh,
I get my holy water.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody's in the house.
Are there vampires in Ohio? I mean, I hope not.
There might be. But regardless, Wheezy, we got to find the piping. I mean, to be fair, we didn't do this. The chat did this one. You guys
both had bets on Mirzakhanov by KO.
No. It's their fault that we took those bets, though, because they made it the piping of the week. So we got to bounce back with the piping of the week, guys. Mirzakhanov did not do his job on Saturday. If anything, Paulo Costa piped and milked Mirzakhanov. So we got to get back in the win column. So what we'll do is we're each going to give one option for piping of the week. I'll let you go first.
Piping of the week. I'll take the most obvious option here with Marcio Barbosa, just the way that he fights.
Okay. So how do you spell Marcio? I got it.
Marcio.
Barbosa. Okay, I like that. I like that. I'm going to go. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Mendel Nalo. Rat garbage to hopefully pipe this bum on site. Please get this bum out of the UFC. Jai Herbert. So give me Mendel Nalo to pipe Herbert on site. What's your next option?
Very easy pick for me. It would be Mike Malott to pipe the aged and potentially on his way out the door, Gilbert Burns on site.
I thought Burns has been out the door for years, so that makes sense. That makes sense. And then to get one more in here, I'm gonna go with no, that might be a milking. I don't think there's any other options, Wheezy, because I think the rest might be milkings.
We can make it just 3.
Yeah, I think we'll do that. Yeah, I think it's got to be 3. I really don't think there's any other options. So we'll do those 3, guys. We remove that, and we're going to create it. And then to vote, like I said, you press 1 for Barbosa, you press 2 for Mendel Nalo, or you press 3 for Mike Malott. So type it in the chat. Yeah, I think Spivak was paying me a visit or something. It's terrifying. Or hopefully it's not Colton G and his goons.
Jeez.
Then I'll be in
That's all
big
you
trouble.
need.
Yeah.
Hope you got a gun.
This is true, though. Spivak can only enter if you invited him inside.
Yes, it's right. It's right. Like just like anybody from Transylvania, you have to invite them in.
Oh, disgusting parlay of the week. Jasmine round 3 and Charles round 3. Why is that disgusting?
Woo!
Not disgusting. That's gonna hit.
Generational wealth spot.
Yeah, I would say Croden round 3, but Croden's gonna finish Zelnikova in round 1. She's gonna take her down. And by the way, my money is coming in on Croden, by the way. So we'll see. All right, Barbosa.
There we go. I think Barbosa is a great option for this one.
All right, I like it. All right, so while they're voting for that, and then we can put it up here. Look at that. Look at that. We can put it right up there.
Nice.
So the results.
Let's go.
Crap! I didn't start it, guys. And now you can vote. People are doing the numbers.
Oh no! Yeah, you got to vote again, you guys. You got to type
again.
1, 2, or 3. You got to re-vote now.
Oh God, it's StreamYard's fault. It's not. It's never my fault. It's StreamYard's fault. So now I forgot to start it. Oh God, it's a new feature. Just give me a break. All right. While they're voting, Wheezy, we're gonna come up with another poll. It's gonna be who is the milking of the week. So I'll let you go with the first one.
First option, easy one for me. It would be Jamie Siraj to milk John I mean, like, it's just what he does. That's how he fights, and it's Yannis's biggest weaknesses. So, like, I think that Siraj has got a good chance to milk this dude.
Yeah, we got a ton of milking options.
Yeah, we do.
Give me Jasmine Jazz the Vicious to milk Karina the Killer. They call her the Killer, right?
They sure do.
Yeah, Karina Killer Silva. Give me Jasmine here.
All right, pretty easy. I think that one takedown and it's over for Melissa Croin on Daria Zelnikova. I think her face is going to get battered into like hamburger meat, and I think Cronin's going to absolutely run through her.
Yep, the Smash Your TV play of the week, Melissa Cronin. I like it. And then there's some solid options, man. I'm gonna go with Robert Valentine to milk LeBlanc. I think LeBlanc's the worst to ever do it. I think Robert Valentine might get his first win coming up this Saturday. So Robert Valentine, there we go. All right, let's check out these results for the piping. Here we go. All right, they're pretty close. They're pretty close. We'll give it a couple more seconds here. Bozer to milk. Okay.
Sorry, can.
Get some help. No, it's StreamYard's fault.
Sorry, can.
Well, what do you call him?
You call the go-kart sorry can.
I didn't even notice that. That's hilarious.
That's great.
That is absolutely
If he loses big, it's going to be go-kart sorry can, and I'm going to take credit for it on Twitter. You just watch.
All right, let's stop the poll. And it looks like the winner is Marcio Barbosa to pipe
Dennis Bazookia
on site. I like it.
Yeah. I like it too. I think that's a good option this week.
Piping of the week is Marcio Barbosa to pipe Dennis Bazookia on site this Saturday. I think you guys might be onto something here. The piping of the week is Marcio Barbosa to pipe Dennis Bazookia on site this Saturday. I like it, guys. I like it. All right, so now we're going to hide that. Now we're going to start the milking of the week poll. So again, to vote, you press 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat. And while we do that, Wheezy, while we let them vote, we will pull up some underdog and talk some underdog here. Let's put it right there. All right, so
there is an absolute generational wealth spot that I can't wait to give out. So I can't wait to hear what you have.
Well, I haven't looked at it yet, so I'll let you go first and talk about what you like. But you like something a lot this week.
Oh, yeah, the free leg. There's a free leg this week, right?
Is it Mitch Raposo?
Yeah, and we don't use the lock word. We're not going to use that. But, I mean, it's got to be Mitch Raposo, lower than 31.5 significant strikes. It would take him 3 fights to land that many significant strikes. And let's keep in mind that Alon Nasamento spends about 20% of his UFC octagon time at distance striking range, which is where you're going to see the most amount of strikes landed. So, yeah, I would be surprised if Raposo even landed 20 significant strikes in this fight. Even if it goes the distance, I think there's going to be a ton of grappling. And Mitch Raposo is the lowest volume fighter in this division. So, yeah, any under or lower on Mitch Raposo significant strikes is going to hit this week.
Okay. I dig it. All right, I'm looking through it now. Let's go to fight time. Oh, fight gosh. Time. Okay. Oh my gosh. No, nothing really sticking out. Okay, let's go to takedowns. Huh. They have Malott at 1.5. Do you think Malott's taking down Burns? I think Malott would just try to outstrike him.
Yeah, I think that'd be the smart thing to do, right?
Yeah. They got Jasmine at 2.5. I mean, Jasmine can get 3 takedowns. I mean, Silva has a 20% takedown defense. I kind of like Jasmine higher.
Any takedowns, yeah. The question is, does she wind up getting, because like that fight has to go 3 rounds probably, because if Jasmine gets her down, she's probably not getting back up.
That's true. Kind of like them a lot lower. Let me take a look at Malott's last couple fights. So Malott He had one against Kevin Holland, none against Racky, none against Giles. Yeah, it wouldn't really make sense to take down Burns twice. Only one against Lioness, none against Gall. He did get 2 against Fugit, and he did get 4 against Magny. Yeah, I'll go the lower on Mike Malott takedowns.
Fair enough.
I think it'd be silly to take down Burns. Just knock him out, just touch his chin. So I'll go with that. So that is the underdog play of the week. Raposo lower and Mike Malott lower on the significant strikes, and Mike Malott lower on the takedowns. All right, let's close up this poll and see where we're at for the milking of the week. It looks like it's going to be Jasmine Jazz the Vicious, Wheezy.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's a pretty good one.
So hopefully she doesn't get caught in something against the very tricky Karina Silva. So Jasmine, Jazzu to Vicious to Milk, Karina Silva. I like both these this week. So there we go. That's the milking of the week. This poll option is next level. First time seeing this format. Yeah, it's StreamYard, man. I mean, when you're getting $500 a year from people, I mean, you better be up in the service, and StreamYard's doing exactly that, Wheezy. So big ups to StreamYard. They got some new cool features. We'll have to check out. I like it.
I'm gonna have to start using them myself.
Yeah, I like it. I certainly like it. All right. Yeah. WMMA has been violent this year. It's been a violent year for WMMA. We've been seeing. There was a fight over the weekend. Wheezy, it was minus like 500 to go over 2.5 rounds, and it went under.
Yep, Tatiana.
All right, so yeah, guys, we did it. We're gonna head out. Uncle Wheezy, I'm gonna kick it to you. Let the people know where they can find you and where they can support you.
Yeah, on Twitter at MMA Wheezy, on YouTube and Rumble at Uncle Wheezy, and on the Odd Shopper at the Probability Stats and Content Package. Get access to all of my individual fighter stats, my betting models, my profile matchup, which you see on the page, which has, strength of schedule stats, strength of schedule rankings, return on investment, last 5, all the wins and losses, how they do it. The stats page has all the stats that you could possibly imagine. Betting models, fight write-ups, track bets, Discord access, 4 hours of subscriber-only video content every week. It's a great way to support my work, and it's a great way to support your gambling habit by giving yourself access to even more information than you could possibly imagine. That's the best way to support my work. If you want to support Brady and I's work, look into joining Big Steve's Discord. Awesome Discord with a great community of really sharp bettors. And then use that code DFSBTN and go get yourself that lower than 31.5 significant strikes from Mitch Raposo this week, because it would be wild if he scored more than 32 significant strikes against Nasamento. That's a free square as far as I'm concerned this week. So let's stack cashed tickets like flapjacks for UFC Winnipeg. And I am gassed, Brady. I am gassed. I'm looking like Vinicius Moreira in round 3 against Tanner Bozer right now after almost 6 hours of video content just tonight.
Oh, you're looking like Kyler Phillips when the fight gets extended.
Oh God, I know, man. I know. Dude, it's just crazy.
Yeah, going 5 hours on this card's wild. Actually, that's wild. I mean, I got going 5 hours last week. You sure? That makes sense.
Yeah,
going 5 hours on this card.
Nope.
Take some guts.
Sure does, dude.
It sure does. It sure does. All righty, guys. Do us a favor, like on your way out, subscribe on your way out, and be on the lookout for more content throughout the week, including our fight companion. We will be back on Saturday. And yeah, guys, best of luck for UFC Winnipeg. Hopefully we all win and don't get pegged. We'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.